take his car to the top of the racetrack through turns 3 and 4 and pull away from Larson in the process. And here's Bubba bearing down on Tyler Reddick in a race for fourth.
He is not done yet. Reddick goes to the top of the banking. Bubba Wallace dials up the low line, trying to put the nose to the inside. He'll take that spot off turn number 2.
It's the second straight time through turn number 2 that Bubba Wallace has been able to make a pass. He now has moved to fourth. Wallace now starts going after Chastain for third.
Chastain has a car length and a half or 2 over him. Behind that, though, here's Kyle Larson on the march. He'll take a peek down to the inside of the Tyler Reddick car. Slips just a bit, does Larson. He'll fall into the clutches of Christopher Bell.
C. Bell is right there on his back bumper now, trying to heat things up for Kyle Larson. For the moment, they're going to hold it single file to the Boeing backstretch.
And all these cars are racing from third on back. Chastain holds third, Wallace is fourth, Reddick is fifth, and you've got Larson and Christopher Bell.
Just watching the advances of Bubba Wallace as he closes in on Ross Chastain, but behind them, here's Christopher Bell on the march. He has reached the back bumper of Kyle Larson. Matter of fact, Bell will dip out of line at the start-finish line.
Dials up the low line, dives to the low side of turn number 1, slides up door to door with Larson, but Kyle's still there. Christopher Bell puts the squeeze on, and he'll take the spot away.
Christopher Bell will take his Rheem Toyota to the 6th position. Larson one spot back, following him back to 3.
As we set on lap number 12 as they come down to the line, I should say. Chase Briscoe is the race leader. Denny Hamlin is second. Ross Chastain is third. Bubba Wallace up to fourth. Tyler Reddick rounds out the top 5, back to 1.
The getaway is underway for Chase Briscoe. He's driven away from Denny Hamlin by 6, maybe 7 car lengths. It's another 12 back to the 3rd spot.
Yeah, there's a significant gap right now, Dave, between the 2nd place car of Denny Hamlin and the 3rd place machine of Ross Chastain.
So it settles down now in the front 5, 10, 15 cars or so. But, Todd, we've seen some drivers make some moves in the opening laps like Bubba Wallace did just a few moments ago. It looks like he's really abusing the race car and using it up. What do you tell that driver, and how do you manage the forward progress with not wanting to give up too much tire too soon?
I think the biggest thing is you don't want to overslip tires, and that's part of it. You can be aggressive on making passes if you kind of keep the tire straight. Keep it driving straight up to the wall. If you start sliding the tire around, you're really going to give up lap time. Going to kind of keep a pace at it. Take advantage of that once or twice here. Bubba Wallace has made some really aggressive moves through 1 and 2, but he's made spots out of it. After that, settle in. You can't run laps like that by yourself, or you'll pay a penalty for it. Abusing the tire to make a pass, to make a position, that's a cool piece. You just got to settle him back down once he gets clear of that pass.
Battle for 5th continues to be a good one on the backstretch. Tyler Reddick and Christopher Bell.
Christopher Bell continuing to get closer to the back bumper of Tyler Reddick. In turn 3, they're a half a car length apart.
A couple of drivers on the move in the early going. Todd Gilliland has picked up 12 spots since the dropping of the green flag. Carson Hocevar and John Hunter Nemechek have gained spots as well. They've gained 11 of them as the leaders race back to turn 2.
It continues to be Chase Briscoe by about 5, maybe 6 over Denny Hamlin. They continue to increase the margin over Ross Chastain. Chastain's got company for 3rd.
And behind them, the battle for 5th now. Christopher Bell able to slide in front of Tyler Reddick. Battle for 3rd, side by side in 3.
Bubba Wallace dives for the bottom of the racetrack on Ross Chastain. He'll squeeze him up against the red and white safer barrier, and Chastain will have to give the position away. Bubba Wallace climbing the leaderboard in the U.S. Air Force Toyota.
And wasting no time going to the whip in this one as he has surged ahead to the number 3 position and immediately begins to pull away from Ross Chastain. Chastain's got more company now from Christopher Bell.
Christopher Bell has been able to make some passes in these early laps. He just disposed of Tyler Reddick a lap ago. Now he's on the back bumper of Chastain.
Here's Chastain right now looking in his rearview mirror. He sees Christopher Bell closing in. Kyle Larson is there, while Denny Hamlin is trying to catch Chase Briscoe for the lead. Bubba Wallace and company are trying to catch them in this ongoing fight at the front.
Wallace has got a good bit of work to do, a good 20, maybe 25 car length. He's got 5 in hand over Chastain. 1 more back to C. Bell.
Christopher Bell continuing to pressure Ross Chastain for this 4th spot. That's the best battle inside of the top 5, and it is involving Ross Chastain and Christopher Bell.
Chastain is 4th. Christopher Bell is 5th. Tyler Reddick has fallen all the way back to the 6th spot. Chris Wilner, what's the latest on Tyler Reddick?
Tyler Reddick complaining that the left rear feels like it may be towed in. Remember, he did suffer some contact on that lap 2 caution, and they thought the damage may have just been aerodynamic, but maybe it is worse. They told Tyler, Billy Scott, the crew chief, to just try to settle in, and they'll try to make adjustments on it but certainly an ill-handling race car. Also, they mentioned potentially the roof flap still is stuck a little bit open when he kind of half spun off of turn 2. That could be adding to the ill-handling, but right now Reddick not happy with the race car, trying to nurse it to the first pit stop.
Right now, Tyler Reddick is posted in the 6th position, 4.3 seconds behind the race leader. Let's follow him back to 2.
Here they come into turn number 2. The battle is on for position number 4. Trying to close in is Christopher Bell.
Christopher Bell had a good run on Ross Chastain going into turn number 1, but he lost a little bit of momentum and now trails Chastain by 3 car lengths.
Chastain's solid. They got a great qualifying effort, and that's been a bit of an Achilles heel for Ross Chastain this season. They've had good race pace, but Ross Chastain making his 3rd playoff appearance in his NASCAR Cup Series career. Darlington Raceway has always been a pretty good racetrack for Chastain.
Well, he's told us all year long, Alex, that they need to do better on Saturday. They don't do good on Saturday because they're pinned in Group 1. They don't qualify well, and that leads to challenges in the race. Tom, we talk a lot about it in our practice and qualifying show on Saturday. Group 1 cars have the heaviest carry and the heaviest lift. They're trying to rubber in the racetrack, but if you can't advance and finish well, you stay mired and stuck in that Group 1 week in and week out, and that's what Ross Chastain has had.
Yeah, that's one of those situations when you go to qualify, if you're in Group 1, you're on the rubbered racetrack that you just practiced on. It's a slower racetrack. We saw it yesterday. Good cars went out early and just posted as good a lap as they could. It got much better after we got 15 cars into qualifying. So making his way out of that, a good effort for Phil Surgeon and Ross Chastain this weekend.
Pretty good rebound also after the lap 1 spin. Kyle Busch has gained quite a few positions, 11 spots as a matter of fact since the restart. Kyle Busch is up now to the 26th position after getting involved back there on the back straightaway after Josh Berry got sideways and spun his car on the opening lap of today's race.
Yeah, lap 1, turn 2, Josh Berry collecting Tyler Reddick. Also Kyle Busch, Daniel Suarez, and Chris Buescher had a piece of that as well, and that's the last thing that anybody wanted in this long race that we've got coming up. 345 laps remain of the Cookout Southern 500. The race lead is in the hands, Dave, of Chase Briscoe, and he's not showing any signs of giving it up anytime soon.
No, he's not, but Denny Hamlin's doing all he can do. He's running about a groove and a half lower than Chase Briscoe. He's taken the deficit from 6 car lengths down to about 4.
Denny Hamlin definitely has closed just a bit in the last few laps on the race leader, Chase Briscoe. However, Briscoe continues to hold a calm lead.
If you're a fan of Chase Briscoe leading here at Darlington Raceway, this might be a bit of an omen because he's only led here in a Cup car one other time. That was last year when he went on to win the Southern 500. He's got the field behind him right now in front of Dave Moody.
Here they come into turn number 1. Briscoe and Hamlin, then a long gap, but a getting shorter gap to Bubba Wallace, who rides in 3rd. He has left Ross Chastain in 4th.
And Chastain has been able to drive away from the 5th place car of Christopher Bell. Behind Bell in 6th is Tyler Reddick. Kyle Larson is 7th. Austin Cindric, Austin Dillon, and Ryan Blaney, the top 10.
At lap 25 of the Cookout Southern 500.
This is a Camry. This is a Camry on NASCAR. This is a Camry on NASCAR with Ty Gibbs behind the wheel. Now you're up to speed. You in? Follow the action at tgrna.com. Toyota, let's go places. NASCAR is a registered trademark of the National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing, LLC.
Hey guys, Corey Joy here. Make sure you catch Stacking Pennies on all the NASCAR platforms each week. We talk to some of our greatest drivers, winners, relevant stories. You never know who's going to show up.
Hall of Famers, everything. And you're going to get the best race highlights, the best content, the best scanner audio, the best reactions, and by far the best pit road breakdowns of any other podcast. Corey, where can they hear us?
You can find us on NASCAR on Tubi, SiriusXM Channel 90, wherever you find your podcasts, or on YouTube. Go check us out.
No changes in the top 5 while we were away. Chase Briscoe continues to lead. Denny Hamlin, Bubba Wallace, Ross Chastain, and Christopher Bell. 27 laps are complete. From Darlington Raceway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Singular history and tradition.
Thank you, everybody, for coming out.
And triple header playoffs action to ratchet up the stakes. Throw in a can't miss concert, and you've got more than a race. You've got Talladega. NASCAR NASCAR Playoffs weekend at Talladega, October 17th through the 19th. Get your tickets now at TalladegaSuperspeedway.com. Ticketmaster, the official ticketing partner of NASCAR.
We're at the start-finish line.
William Byron on pole position. Green flag is out and we're racing.
We're in the turn.
Here to the inside comes Kyle Larson. He and Hamlin bump.
We're on pit road.
Four tires Sunoco Racing Fuel. The race off from pit road is Denny Hamlin. Eric Jones goes off.
We are live from the track. The Motor Racing Network, your home for NASCAR racing. Don't miss a lap, pit stop, or side-by-side race for the win. Listen to all the play-by-play action on your local radio station and MRN or NASCAR.com.
Cookout and Darlington. Fast service and fast cars. Awesome food at max speed. Cookout is where the hamburgers are char-grilled, always fresh, never frozen. Race through the Cookout drive-thru for a Cookout tray and ice-cold Coca-Cola.
Things beginning to tighten up at the front of the field with lap traffic on the horizon. Chase Briscoe, the leader. Denny Hamlin and Bubba Wallace begin to run him down.
Both those two cars closing in on the race leader, Chase Briscoe, setting up for turn 3. Briscoe holds one car length over Denny Hamlin.
And all of them are trying to catch the tail end of the field as they race their way off the corner and put lap number 31 on the board. Got a couple of drivers ahead of them in this ongoing tightening of the race lead in one.
Making their way into turn 1. First car in danger of going a lap down is the Timmy Hill machine. Right now, Chase Briscoe's got a 2-car length advantage over Hamlin.
Briscoe is probably about a lap or 2 away from catching the back bumper of Timmy Hill. However, Briscoe continues to look in his rearview mirror and sees Denny Hamlin.
Denny Hamlin not quite close enough to pounce as of yet. For the moment, it's going to ride the tire tracks. Denny needs to be careful, Dave. Got to keep an eye in the mirror. Bubba Wallace is fast closing.
No doubt about it. Bubba Wallace is the fastest car of the 3. He may be the fastest car on the racetrack. He's gone from 20 or 25 laps behind, or to 25 car lengths behind Denny Hamlin to just 2 now off turn 2.
And Bubba Wallace has proven so far tonight that he can make passes in traffic. Again, Wallace closing to the back bumper of Denny Hamlin in the race for second. Briscoe now goes around Timmy Hill.
Here's Bubba Wallace. He's caught Denny Hamlin. He's going to take a peek to the inside coming out of turn number 4, but not quite close enough to make that pass. The lap car of Timmy Hill occupies the inside lane. Bubba's going to split him 3 wide.
3 wide to the middle goes Bubba Wallace. Timmy Hill gives way on the bottom. Hamlin keeps the hammer down in the outside lane. Here comes Bubba Wallace for the number 2 spot.
Bubba Wallace has got a nice launch off of turn number 2. Steps to the left, gets alongside the left rear quarter panel of Denny Hamlin. Side by side to turn 3. Wallace on the inside, Hamlin up top.
Wallace is going to slide up. Denny Hamlin's going to have to roll out of the throttle and let him in. Solid move by Bubba Wallace. Meanwhile, green flag pit stops are beginning. Here's Alex Bowman on the pit lane.
Alex Bowman complaining of a really tight race car. He said the ride balance isn't bad, but I just cannot get this car to turn on both ends of the racetrack. They're going to take a big stab at it. Chassis adjustment and air pressure adjustment. Alex Bowman is down and away.
Well, Alex Bowman now will come back out onto the racetrack, and we anticipate others to come down for service, including race leader Chase Briscoe. Here's Chase Briscoe. He'll pull the car off the banking, and he'll woe that car down, and Chase Briscoe will complete his service at lap 35. That will turn the lead over to Bubba Wallace, who'll lead his first laps tonight of the Cookout Southern 500. Chase Briscoe slowly making his way down the pit lane as we cover the Briscoe stop in lap 35.
Painfully slow, making his way into the stop. Tugs the wheel to the left. Here he is, right on the signboard. Needs a little bit better rotation off from turn number 2, but overall really happy with the race car. Around to the left side. Pump and a half of the jack. Sunoco Racing Fuel is plugged in. Chase Briscoe is down and away, Chris Wilner.
Zane Smith is in. Here comes Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Both of these going to be 4 tire changes and Sunoco fuel. Expecting Tyler Reddick at any moment as well to try to adjust the roof flap and get him tightened up as well. Wendy Venturini.
Kyle Larson is in for 4 tires fuel. Very fast stop. Austin Dillon says he needed an air pressure adjustment. 4 tires. Sunoco fuel also on pit road. William Byron, who said he was tight so far in the first 36 laps. 4 tires. Sunoco fuel.
Problems continue for Tyler Reddick, Todd, as we're watching the pit stop directly across from us. They had to put the roof flap down and got that problem corrected, but then they had some more issues.
Got to the left side, didn't look like the jack got underneath the left side of it, had to come back and get the left side jacked up, lost a lot of spots. Steve Post?
Yeah, down here we've also had pit service. Joey Logano brought his car into the attention of the crew. Paul Wolf went with 4 tires, Sunoco Racing Fuel on that automobile. Wendy Venturini, Ross Chastain's in front of you.
Ross Chastain was in for 4 tires and fuel. He was loose on throttle, had started in the 6th position. Also on pit road, Chris Buescher for 4 tires and fuel. Keep in mind, he had a little bit of damage on the right rear quarter panel from that very early incident on for Chris Buescher.
Green flag pit stops continue right now on the pit lane. We're waiting Bubba Wallace and Denny Hamlin to come in. They stay on the racetrack. Cole Custer's in. Kyle Busch is in. Let's cover the general stop.
Cole Custer into the attention of the Haas factory team crew. It's really solid stop here on the right side. They work to the left side. A little bit slow to get the tires on the left front. Fuel going in. Sunoco can is out. Cole Custer is down and away.
While we continue this green flag cycle of pit stops, 13 cars are currently on the lead lap. Daniel Suarez is the last of those. Daniel, if you recall, came to pit road back on lap number 3, and he subsequently pitted again on lap number 5. So Suarez has got just a little bit more in the tank right now and a little bit fresher tires. We continue to wait, Todd, for Bubba Wallace and this team, Denny Hamlin, Christopher Bell. What's the strategy thinking here?
Well, a lot of times we'll see the Joe Gibbs crew actually stick to the numbers of splitting it into thirds, the actual lap number, not try to short pit that. They try to run it to where they can get to. We've got another couple of playoff contenders. We've got Ryan Blaney onto pit road here and rolling his way down through. Chase Elliott has come to pit road as well.
Ryan Blaney at 45 miles an hour will make his way towards his pit box. Let's cover the Chase Elliott stop.
Chase Elliott to the attention of his Hendrick Motorsports crew. He also is really tight around the racetrack. Actually, the last report was chattering the fronts in 3 and 4. They make an adjustment, air pressured 4 tires and fuel, Steve Post.
Down here, Ryan Blaney gets 4 tires, Sunoco Racing Fuel. Pretty happy with the race car. Reports him and Jonathan Hassler. So Ryan Blaney is down and away. Carson Hocevar gets hit for service down and away. We've got Brad Keselowski smoking down pit road. Keselowski's got a loose left front wheel. He stops in another pit box. The pit box of Denny Hamlin, or the second place car, Joey Logano's pit box, and the Logano crew is going to service the Brad Keselowski. It's actually the Denny Hamlin crew. The problem is Denny Hamlin was slated to come down pit road this time, and Brad Keselowski rolled into his pit box to get that left front tire reattached.
Here comes Denny Hamlin right now, agonizingly slow, bringing his car in. Christopher Bell is also in. Back to Steve Post.
Christopher Bell brings the Rheem Toyota in. Very happy with his race car. 4 tires, Sunoco Racing Fuel. The first pit box is Denny Hamlin. He is in the Sports Clip colors on his Toyota. Left side tires off, left side tires on. Hamlin's down and away. Bell is down and away. Chris Wilner.
Here comes Bubba Wallace, the race leader, said he was about a 1.5 tight at the end of that run, but they were really pleased with the lap times over the course of that run. Right side service is complete. Now the Goodyear Eagles on the left side. Sunoco cans injected to the car. Bubba Wallace down and away. A solid stop for the 2311 crew.
So when Bubba Wallace pulls back out onto the racetrack, that will cycle the lead to John Hunter Nemechek. John Hunter, Shane Van Gisbergen, and Michael McDowell are the only drivers that have yet to come down for service. We've completed 43 laps. We still got 72 to go in this stage. And right now, here comes Shane Van Gisbergen. He'll peel off the racetrack and make his pit stop at lap number 44.
Meanwhile, the race leader currently is John Hunter Nemechek. He is just slow compared to the rest of the field with the fresh tires, and he is in a gaggle of traffic on the backstretch.
John Hunter Nemechek on those older tires, trying to hold off all these cars on newer tires to turn 3.
And John Hunter Nemechek is not coming to pit road at all. Matter of fact, he is up against the wall. He's 3 wide momentarily with lap cars and others bypassing him. He just got passed by Brad Keselowski. Here's Ty Gibbs, Carson Hocevar. John Hunter Nemechek's hands are full, Dave.
Yeah, John Hunter really taking a whipping right now, Mike. I think he might have wanted to come last time, but he was in the middle of a 3-wide sandwich as cars flew past him, both high and low.
Nemechek now has clear racetrack to his inside if he wants to come to pit road. This time in turn 3, though, Nemechek remains committed to the outside wall.
Brad Keselowski will be back on the pit lane, this time by to answer a black flag. Pass-through penalty for Brad Keselowski, pitted outside the box and that is a no-no, and Brad Keselowski is going to have an uphill climb now, as if he didn't have it already after starting towards the tail end of the field.
So we talk about how John Hunter Nemechek's lap times are slow. How slow are they? Well, Bubba Wallace, the former leader, just came in, and compared to John Hunter's is 2.5 seconds slower a lap. That is how much the give up is on these tires. That's how much speed you leave on the table when you stay out on the racetrack like this. Todd, what's the play here? Why do they not come to pit road, in your opinion?
Well, I just wonder if they're trying to do something different to keep themselves in a lead lap position. They might be trying to single stop this and to roll this thing out to like lap 50, because we had the caution laps to start with. It would go on beyond that. It would go to probably lap 60 to split it in half. That from where they were may keep them in a lead lap position longer into this run in case a caution comes.
It's not just John Hunter Nemechek. Second place Michael McDowell is the only other car that is yet to make a pit stop in today's Cookout Southern 500 at this point. We are now 47 laps into it. The first car on the track is third place that has made a pit stop, and that's Chase Briscoe. Ross Chastain is up to fourth. Kyle Larson is fifth. The rest of the top 10 as they run. We'll see Daniel Suarez sixth. Bubba Wallace seventh. Austin Cindric is eighth. Ninth is Denny Hamlin. And Mike Austin Dillon now kicked back to 10th because Hamlin and Suarez both able to get by.
So Nemechek and McDowell have yet to come to pit road. And remember, the only other stop for Daniel Suarez was at lap 5 when he got collected with Josh Berry and company in turn 2. Chris Wilner, what's the thinking on the Daniel Suarez pitch strategy?
Well, it's exactly what Todd Gordon was speculating about, some of these trying to just split this stage in half and not make 2 pit stops for Michael McDowell. They feel like the fall off they learned in practice on the tires, not the wheels falling off, but the tire deg on the racetrack, plays into the factor that as long as they can keep a certain pace, and crew chief Travis Peterson is reminding of that they're going to go ahead and wait another 14 laps and pit around lap 62 and split this stage. So an interesting strategy here for Michael McDowell, but again, had to do it qualifying near the rear of the field, trying to keep track position and saving a set of tires here a little later in the race.
If you're new to NASCAR racing, you're going to hear the term an awful lot, not just here tonight, but throughout the season, tire fall off. And Todd, that doesn't literally mean the tires fall off these race cars. What does it mean?
It means the tire loses grip. It's the fall off in grip that the tire has at the racetrack, and it means that the lap times actually get longer. We start out, as you look at this, I'm looking at John Hunter Nemechek here, who's still our leader as he goes along. His fast lap early on, lap 4 or 5, was like a 30.60 second lap. He's a second and a half slower than that now. And at that pace, with that little bit of fall off, because he can't blow that really good fast lap to start with, it makes more sense to go longer and not take the time of running down pit road in extra time and taking that time penalty because you don't have the fire off speed to fire it back forward.
John Hunter Nemechek has not left the outside wall in turns 3 and 4 since the opening laps of this race. He's keeping it up there and keeping all the RPMs he can in that race car.
Which is an aero benefit to these cars. That kind of cushion and wedge of air you can put between them. And as your tires wear out, you'll find yourself married tighter and tighter to that wall, just using that air cushion to help turn the car around the corner and not forcing it, because you don't have the tire grip to do it. You're letting the air work you a little bit better.
To add a little more context to the Brad Keselowski pitting outside the box story, as he had to make a pass-through penalty, Brad Keselowski 2 laps down now, back in 37th position. He left his pit box after a routine pit stop, 4 fresh Goodyear tires. When he drove down the pit lane, he realized that he had a loose wheel. So he came and stopped in the Joey Logano pit box, and that team jumped over the wall to tighten the lug nut on that race car. That constitutes the penalty of the 6th car of Keselowski pitting outside their box.
Seeking out a Ford teammate. And thank goodness that in the case of Brad Keselowski, Joey and Paul Wolf, Joey Logano and Paul Wolf, were down there to help him.
And yes, that's a penalty, but the alternative is you go out on the racetrack, a wheel comes off or maybe even gets hung up and creates damage to your race car.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's a lesser of evils. It's one where you get to live and fight another race. Hopefully you put yourself in a position where you can cycle yourself, find a caution that you can stay out and maybe get 1 lap back to get back there, but you've got the rest of the day to fight. If you lose one on the racetrack, it's going to be more of a day under.
As we continue under the green flag, 54 laps are complete. We'll recap the leaderboard for you, let you know where your favorite driver is running as we continue through with John Hunter Nemechek leading in the Cookout Southern 500.
Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. Black Buffalo products are intended for adults aged 21 and older who are consumers of nicotine or tobacco.
Hey, it's Ryan Blaney, 2023 NASCAR Cup Series champion. If you know me, I did Black Buffalo Long Cut. Black Buffalo is America's only credible smokeless tobacco alternative. Black Buffalo was established in America in 2015, and it dips just like the real thing, without the tobacco leaf or stem. You can find Black Buffalo at thousands of retailers across the USA near you. Black Buffalo Tobacco Alternative. If it's everything you love about dip, nothing you don't.
We are the voice of NASCAR.
The green flag is in the air, and we are underway. The Great American Race.
The Motor Racing Network. NASCAR Cup, Xfinity, and Craftsman Truck Series Racing live on your hometown radio station and MRN or NASCAR.com. Martinsville, Talladega, the Chicago Street Course. We have the side-by-side action and last lap passes for the win.
Photo finishes. Ryan Blaney will win.
The voice of NASCAR, the Motor Racing Network.
New leader in the Cookout Southern 500, Chase Briscoe, has just tracked down and bypassed John Hunter Nemechek to go back to the top of the leaderboard. John Hunter stays in second. Bubba Wallace now is up to third. Ross Chastain and Denny Hamlin are fourth and fifth. 57 laps complete, 58 to go in the opening stage. From Darlington Raceway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
One last exhale. Fitting, isn't it? The final shot at the Championship 4 comes down to a track that's been here from day one. Martinsville. Close quarters, tight corners, and a fan experience that brings you so close to the action, all of the mayhem will be right at your fingertips. NASCAR Playoffs weekend at Martinsville Speedway, October 23rd through the 26th. Get your tickets now at martinsvillespeedway.com. Ticketmaster, the official ticketing partner of NASCAR.
We are under the green flag.
Listen up, NASCAR fans. Now's the time to turn your love of racing into big-time prizes. Because NASCAR Fantasy Live is your fast lane to bragging rights.
Furious racing here.
Pick 5 drivers each week of the season. Then complete additional challenges to stack points. All for your shot at the grand prize.
So let's get this party started.
For official rules and to learn more, visit NASCAR.com/fantasy and sign up today.
Welcome back to Darlington Raceway. John Hunter Nemechek has just found his way onto pit lane. Let's cover the stop.
Yeah, John Hunter Nemechek was going with that strategy of one stop during this break. So he came in, 4 tires, Sunoco Racing Fuel. We'll see how this comes out as far as where he ends up at the end of the stage and run all the calculations. And John Hunter Nemechek, another driver that was in a similar situation, Daniel Suarez's crew is on the wall, so they're going to bring Suarez down as well. So this is going to play out over the course of this stage, and there are a lot of crew chiefs watching what happens and how this works out for John Hunter Nemechek and also for Daniel Suarez.
Steve, don't put the microphone down yet. Here's Daniel Suarez in the Freeway.com Chevrolet.
Matt Swiderski, the crew chief on this car, brings this driver in here on lap number 61. Right side tires going on the car. A chassis adjustment for Daniel Suarez. Coming around quickly to the left side. A pump and a half of the jack. Left side tires on. Sunoco Racing Fuel is plugged in. And there goes Daniel Suarez down and away.
So Daniel Suarez makes a pit stop at lap 61. Michael McDowell has come down for a pit stop as well. And that will conclude the first round of green flag pit stops in tonight's Cookout Southern 500. 62 laps are complete, 53 laps to go. And Chase Briscoe has cycled back through Alex to take the race lead once again. Bubba Wallace right now is posted in second. And here's how they're currently running, presented by Napa. Starters, alternators, batteries, testers, all in one place. Napa has the premium or remanufactured parts that keep your business powered and customers moving. That's Napa know-how. We mentioned Briscoe and Wallace 1 and 2. Denny Hamlin right now is third. Kyle Larson is fourth. Ross Chastain is fifth. Austin Cindric now is in sixth, with Austin Dillon in seventh. William Byron is eighth. Tyler Reddick is ninth, and Christopher Bell is 10th.
Ryan Blaney currently 11th. Ty Gibbs is 12th. Justin Haley is 13th. Eric Jones is 14th, and Joey Logano 15th. Carson Hocevar being scored 16th, with Chase Elliott 17th. A.J. Allmendinger is 18th, Cole Custer 19th, and Kyle Busch up to 20th.
Noah Gregson's 21st, Chris Buescher is 22nd, Shane Van Gisbergen is 23rd, Alex Bowman's back in 24th, and Ryan Preece is 25th. Todd Gilliland is 26th, Riley Herbst is 27th. You got Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in 28th. You You got Cody Ware in 29th and John Hunter Nemechek now in 30th.
31st a lap down is Zane Smith, and Michael McDowell after his green flag pit stop back to 32nd. Ty Dillon is 33rd. Daniel Suarez has now lost 2 laps after his green flag stop. Suarez is 34th. Brad Keselowski after a pit road penalty, he's 35th. 36th is Derek Kraus. 37th is Timmy Hill. And the only car being scored out of the race at the moment is Josh Berry. However, they do continue to work on that red and white Ford back in the Cup Series garage after a turn 2, lap 1 spin and wall contact.
Chase Briscoe has reassumed the lead. Daniel Suarez has just unlapped himself as Briscoe's lead now 4.7 seconds over Bubba Wallace. Right now, Chase Briscoe, Alex, is taking firm command of this Cookout Southern 500, and it's very interesting to watch Chase and everybody meld together on that Toyota Camry race team. Seems like that all the chemistry is coming together at just the right time, and right now it's paying off on the racetrack, especially when the playoffs begin.
It is. Wow, they're having a good opening stage here to the Cookout Southern 500. There are some drivers. I mentioned Josh Berry, a playoff driver, who's off the racetrack. He's got off to a dismal start here. But, Todd, we're getting closer and closer now to what could be a second cycle of green flag pit stops here. Lap 60. As a matter of fact, here's Alex Bowman. He was the first driver to start the cycle back on the first run.
And I talked about this with you guys beforehand with some of the guys we were talking about. I think this makes sense. Blake bringing him in here early, trying to continue because he's in the back half of the field to be aggressive on the front side of this. A pretty slow stop. They had some problems on the right rear there. Chris Muller, you got that?
Yeah, it was a slow stop here on the right rear. They're still trying to look at it. Alex Bowman, though, was complaining that the car's still not turning, so I know they're making significant adjustments. They're also working now on their third set of tires, so they're one set ahead of the rest of the field because of that contact and flat spot of the tires on lap number 2. Now they're working on the left side, getting the left rear and the left front change. Still waiting on the fuel, and now Alex Bowman goes away. But certainly we'll check in. There may be a little bit more of a problem than just a slow stop for Alex Bowman.
Yeah, that was a way slow stop for the Ally Chevrolet. He's going to take the car back out onto the racetrack. But, Alex, this is not the start to the playoffs that Alex Bowman was looking for. Coming in as the 16th seed, the last driver in, and they have had their hands full. We've only completed 69 laps tonight.
Yeah, and we kind of put it into golf vernacular, as Todd said in NASCAR Live Race Day. You don't need to go out and win all these races in the opening round. You just can't make mistakes and have problems. Well, in golf terms, you hit it down the fairway off the first tee. Right now, Alex Bowman and that team, they've sliced one about 20 yards out into the woods. Unfortunately for Josh Berry, they hooked theirs out of bounds.
Yeah, all they needed was a 4-iron off the tee box. They hit a driver and hit a big banana slice in it. But it's one of those situations. You can come back from this, but you've got to now put yourself in a much more aggressive position and maybe needing to win these next couple races at Gateway and Bristol.
So right now, Alex Bowman is behind the 8 ball. He is posted in the 36th position, 3 laps down. They've got a lot of work to do. But the good news is, they've still got 297 laps to get that job done.
Yeah, if you're going to stub your toe, do it early in a Cookout Southern 500 to give yourself opportunity to rebound and get back in it. You know, unless there's an organic caution, you know you've got one coming in 44 more laps at the end of stage number 1 anyway, and an opportunity to make another pit stop and potentially make some more adjustments to your race car. As we continue to run, 71 laps complete. Chase Briscoe's lead over second place Bubba Wallace is still 3 full seconds at the moment, with Denny Hamlin third, Kyle Larson fourth, and Ross Chastain rounding out the top 5. You know, we talked a little earlier about Ross Chastain. The last couple of laps, Chastain has been the fastest car on the racetrack. We look up at the entrance to pit road. Here comes William Byron. Tyler Reddick is also in. Let's cover the stop. Wendy Venturini.
Austin Cindric is one of the cars that wants to come down pit road. He's free on entry and exit. It's going to be 4 tires at Sunoco Fuel. William Byron also in. He felt a little bit funky on this run. He did not like the last adjustment. 4 tires in Sunoco Fuel. Chris Wilner.
Tyler Reddick, rather, was in here on lap number 73. Remember the roof flap issue? They fixed that, but still some issue on the rear with the left rear. They're trying to diagnose that. They made another chassis adjustment and sent him down on his way. 4 tires in full of Sunoco Fuel, Steve.
Joey Logano is in. The car got tight on that run. Chassis adjustment on the right rear of that automobile. Now around to the left side. Sunoco Fuel plugged in. Joey Logano, 4 tires down and away. You're on lap 73.
Also on the pit lane, Austin Cindric pulls away from his pit box. The other Austin Dillon also pulls away from his pit box as we begin another cycle of green flag pit stops. Todd, it's worth talking about John Hunter Nemechek, who stayed out and ran the stage a little longer than everybody else.
He did, and just unlapped himself as we were starting this cycle a couple laps ago. So got himself back on a lead lap. This is that strategy that kind of back there. Didn't unlap himself. He got to second. I was thinking, Bubba Wallace was the leader. He's still got a couple seconds to get on Chase Briscoe, but really close to getting that lap back.
Back to pit lane, Wendy Venturini.
Ross Chastain just came in for 4 tires and a chassis adjustment. Also on pit road, Chris Buescher with 4 fresh tires and Sunoco fuel. Steve Post.
Chase Briscoe brings his automobile into the crew. James Small, the crew chief, pretty happy with the race car on this run. Chase reported that the car is just a little bit better turn and still is pretty good here. Around to the left side now. 4 tires Sunoco Racing Fuel. Denny Hamlin has the first pit box. His car a little tight on this run. 4 tires Sunoco Fuel there as well. Ty Dillon gets pit service as well, Chris.
Ricky Stenhouse down and away with a 4-tire change. Ty Gibbs into the attention of his crew. He's down and away with a 4-tire and packet full of Sunoco fuel. Here comes Bubba Wallace. What a good start to his Southern 500. The crew already around to the right side. Goal on this pit stop is to free him up a little bit more, especially in turns 3 and 4. Working on the left side. Goodyear tires are on, and Bubba Wallace is down and away. Oh, and almost a problem. Bubba Wallace nearly stalls as Zane Smith gets blocked in as Bubba Wallace left. Zane Smith had to come to a stop. They almost played chicken. Now Zane Smith has to back up, but Bubba Wallace down and away, escaping disaster.
Very close call down there for Bubba Wallace, and that little hiccup there is going to cost him some time on the racetrack. As again, we talk about it, Todd, there's so much you have to be executing on the racetrack and on pit road.
Yeah, it's not only your car, but it's understanding what cars around you are doing when they're pitting, trying to orchestrate this. That's part of what you do on top of the pit box. You talk to the boxes beside you. What lap are you coming? Trying to get where these green flag cycles don't happen, where you're into each other's way. Bubba Wallace rolling out his pit stop. Zane Smith, who's 2 in front of him, was trying to get to it. They both had to check up. Zane ended up having to back up into his pit box after the interaction here. So
Kyle Larson in front of Wendy Venturini.
Kyle Larson very methodical on when they hit pit road by his crew chief Cliff Daniels. 4 tires Sunoco fuel. No complaints from Kyle Larson. Steve Post.
And down here, Ryan Blaney would like the tires to hold up just a little bit longer on his Menards 4. Going to make an air pressure adjustment out of this time is Jonathan Hassler. Going to be 4 tires on the automobile. Around to the left side, taking tires on that. 2 pit boxes behind. Christopher Bell's crew is on the wall. They are waiting for that Toyota to arrive as well. Looking up pit road, looks like Chase Elliott just completed some pit work.
He did. Chase Elliott, a 4-tire change. Said the car felt numb. They made another adjustment, and he's down and away.
So he makes his way back out. Todd?
The 20 car of Christopher Bell down there in front of Steve Post.
Christopher Bell's crew, minor chassis adjustment. He reported also the car is just a little bit tight. Down and away. 4 tires. Christopher Bell here on lap number 79.
So pit service complete for the majority of the field yet again. This will turn the lead over in just a moment to Shane Van Gisbergen. So SVG on a completely different pit cycle, and that's part of the charm of racing here at Darlington. So many different strategies in which you can employ as a crew chief.
Yeah, this is one where you can kind of understand what your scenario is, what you're trying to race to, and where you need to get to. You can do different things. John Hunter Nemechek has now cycled himself back to second behind Shane Van Gisbergen, and he's in a position where he can probably go to the end of the stage at this point. He'll lose positions from there, but may not lose all the way off the lead lap and live to fight through stage 2.
Dusk is underway here at Darlington. Sunset in full effect. The Musco lighting system is on. Sunset here at Darlington tonight, 7:46 p.m. Eastern Time. And you can start to see the lights reflecting off the cars and off the paint schemes as we continue under the green flag. In case you're just joining us, 81 laps complete. Only 1 caution flag so far. It blew. Turn 2, lap 1. Josh Berry got tangled up over there in turn 2. Turned around, backed the car into the wall. Damage for his Ford has taken him to the garage. Collected in that also was Kyle Busch, Chris Buescher, Daniel Suarez, and Tyler Reddick. Those drivers have been able to continue on. Back to pit road is Steve Post.
Shane Van Gisbergen, the race leader, brings his car into the crew. Going to be a minor chassis adjustment. The car is just a little bit free for SVG. He had a little contact during the first Shane Van Gisbergen is back down and away.
He'll rally back up through the gearbox and try to blend back in without giving up too much time. The race lead goes back to John Hunter Nemechek. 33 laps to go in stage number 1.
Switching to Progressive is a game-winning call. And that reminds us of other game-winning calls in the history of sports.
So it was the fourth quarter and we're down by 5. Sweat pouring down my face. Suddenly it hit me. If only I could wrap part of the towel around my forehead. And that's how I became the first basketball player to wear a headband.
Okay, not really a game-winning call, but it was a good call. You can make one too. Switch to Progressive and you could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
We are getting ready to crown a champion.
Championship weekend is coming back to the desert.
Let's get this party started.
4 title races in 3 days means there will be a buzz in the air all weekend long, whether from the grandstands, the infield experience, or the hillside. This is your chance to witness history and make championship caliber memories for the whole family. NASCAR Championship Weekend at Phoenix Raceway, October 31st through November 2nd. Get your tickets now at PhoenixRaceway.com. Ticketmaster, the official ticketing partner of NASCAR.
Challenge and change for the race lead. Wasn't much of a challenge with the fresher tires. Chase Briscoe inherits the lead as he goes whipping right on by John Hunter Nemechek on the older Goodyear tires. A completely different strategy being employed by Nemechek, who is second. Denny Hamlin is third. Tyler Reddick currently fourth. And Ross Chastain rounds out the top 5. 30 laps to go in stage number 1 from Darlington Raceway. This is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Don't miss a moment of the NASCAR season.
Chastain drove it and never lifted. Put it against the safer barrier and all the way around the turn. Passes Denny Hamlin.
Check out the Motor Racing Network's coverage of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, the NASCAR Xfinity Series, and the NASCAR Cup Series on hundreds of local radio stations around the country. Find your local station by going to MRN.com to catch the excitement of NASCAR on the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
80 million listeners depend on AM radio to always be on, delivering news, sports, talk, traffic, and weather reports you can trust. AM radio also delivers vital emergency information when you need it most. Text AM to 39179. Tell Congress to pass the AM Radio for Every Vehicle Act to keep AM radio in cars.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to stop.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Welcome you back to Darlington Raceway in the 76th running of the Cookout Southern 500 here at the track Too Tough to Tame as we have sunset beginning to take place here. The lights have just come on here at Darlington Raceway, and Todd, this is part of the race where the track conditions begin to change and crew chiefs have to figure out how to stay on top of it.
Yeah, definitely. You've got two things working in these situations here. Green flag stops. Green flag stops typically, to my experience, the car always fires off freer. I don't know if that's because you buzz the rear tires getting out of the pit box or what the cause of it is, but we're always, the balance seems like it's freer on the green flag stop, and then you've got the sun going off the racetrack. We had full sun on turns 1 and 2. We've now let the sun kind of get behind the clouds, and we're, like you said, we're starting to see the lights. Track temperatures cooling down, adding grip to it. That's going to change the balance of these race cars as well.
Good battle for the 10th position. It exits turn number 2, and it involves Christopher Bell and Austin Dillon on the backstretch.
Here they come down the Boeing backstretch. Christopher Bell holds about a car length over Austin Dillon, who looks low in turn 3.
Dillon goes all the way down to the bottom of the racetrack. There is no out-of-bounds racing here at Darlington. He had the left sides below the white line. Can't find the grip he was looking for. Stays about 3 car lengths in arrears as they race back to turn 1.
Down the front stretch and into the 25-degree banking of turn 1. Christopher Bell has shrugged off the challenge, at least for the moment. He pulls away by about 5 car lengths.
The next car in line for Christopher Bell for position, that is the William Byron Chevrolet. The problem for Bell is he's got to get around Ty Dillon and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. to race for that spot.
Bell will drop to the bottom of the racetrack to do exactly that. There's one driver that basically is fighting for his life to stay 2 laps down instead of going 3 laps down, and that's Alex Bowman, who's been feeling the pressure from Chase Briscoe, and it's been a handful tonight for Alex Bowman and that Ally Chevrolet team. Chris, bring us up to speed on some of the challenges that team has had tonight.
Oh, man, where do you start, Mike Bagley? It really all started after the green flag fell, and the contact with the spin of Josh Berry off of turn number 2. They had to address that issue with the right front. Then later in the race, on their third pit stop after they were behind the 8 ball, the pit gun failed on lap 62. We documented the slow pit stop, but the problem was is they weren't prepared for the backup pit gun. It wasn't even connected on the pit box, so they spent precious seconds trying to reconnect it and get it fired up so they could complete the pit stop. So talk about having to be prepared for anything here in the playoffs and living up to big-time pressure moments. Unfortunately for Alex Bowman and this Ally team, they have just been behind the 8 ball, and that pit stop cost them so much time, as you mentioned, now threatening to go 3 laps down.
That was a 40-second pit stop to do the gun. What normally should be 9 to 10 seconds, a full lap penalty in the pit stop.
That's a tough one to swallow there for that race team. They're going to have to focus on the road ahead. There's a reason why the windshield is much larger than the rear view mirror. Right now, it's time for a mid-race update, and it's presented by T-Mobile. T-Mobile, it's better over here. See how at T-Mobile.com/magenta status.
Chase Briscoe leads with 94 laps complete. We've had 10 lead changes among 6 drivers, 1 caution flag for 5 laps, and it's been about the green flag of the competition that's in it. 94 laps complete with Chase Briscoe, Denny Hamlin, Tyler Reddick, Ross Chastain, and Bubba Wallace rounding out the top 5. Chase Briscoe has ruled the roost so far tonight, leading 64 of the 94 laps. John Hunter Nemechek has led, so has Bubba Wallace, so has Christopher Bell, and so has Kyle Larson.
Now, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Motor Racing Network. Darlington Raceway is where we are with the Cookout Southern 500. Glad you can join us here on the Motor Racing Network. My name is Alex Hayden. To my right in the broadcast booth is Mike Bagley. To my left, NASCAR Cup Series winning crew chief Todd Gordon. Out in turns 1 and 2 tonight are Dave Moody, and out in turns 3 and 4, Tim Cattle-Famo. On the pit lane, Steve Post, Chris Wilner, and Wendy Venturini.
Chase Briscoe continues to lead, 96 laps complete. We've got 19 laps to go in the opening stage of tonight's Cookout Southern 500. Sun begins to set. Most of the track is in shade. Well, it was a moment ago until the sun is broken free. Dave Moody, you are basking in bright, beautiful South Carolina sunshine right now.
That's one way of looking at it, Mike. Yes, staring straight into the sunset is another. That will be an issue for these drivers for the next few minutes as they race down the backstretch into turn number 3. The sunset, always beautiful here at Darlington, but a little bit inconvenient at this time of day for the drivers.
And maybe a little inconvenient for our turn announcer, Dave Moody, as well, as he looks right back into that sunshine back here on the front straightaway. Pretty good rebound, I would say, for Kyle Busch, Todd. He was a driver that started towards the back of the field, got swept up in that opening lap spin and crashed by Josh Berry. He's been able to rebound now up to the 16th position.
Yeah, he was sitting still at that, at the scene of Josh Berry's wreck there in turn 2 of lap 1. Had to come to pit road, has driven his way back forward into the 16th position, doing a good job of putting a good day together.
Yeah, right now gaining 21 positions since that restart at lap 7.
Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options now available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10, $20, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-885-6688. 800-885-6688. 800-885-6688. National Debt Relief, the official debt relief partner of NASCAR.
No changes in the top 5 while we were away. We have just eclipsed the 100-lap mark in the Cookout Southern 500. Chase Briscoe, Denny Hamlin, Tyler Reddick, Ross Chastain, and Bubba Wallace continue to be the top 5. From Darlington Raceway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
this is Mike Bagley. Join me along with the cast and crew of the Motor Racing Network every Tuesday night for NASCAR Live. Hear exclusive interviews.
It's my responsibility as a driver to leave the sport in a better place than it was when I got here. And certainly sometimes it comes with controversial takes.
The best moments from each of NASCAR's premier series.
They bang sideways at the line. Photo finish.
And in-depth breakdowns of the latest NASCAR news and more. It's NASCAR Live every Tuesday night at 7 Eastern.
Oh, Kansas.
Here we go. If I can have it today.
You just don't stop giving, do you?
Green flag, we're underway.
The closest finish in NASCAR Cup Series history.
Oh, finish, boys.
Close to downtown, amazing campgrounds. 3 NASCAR races in one weekend, and it's the playoffs.
You guys can't drive.
Now you're just showing off. But we're not mad. In fact, we're looking forward to it. NASCAR Playoffs Weekend at Kansas Speedway, September 26th through the 28th. Get your tickets now at kansasspeedway.com.
Back at Darlington Raceway, 12 laps to go in stage 1 of the Cookout Southern 500. Chase Briscoe continues to lead. Alex has advantage now over Denny Hamlin, 1.2 seconds.
Been a great race for Chase Briscoe here in the opening stage. He's led 73 of the 103 laps that have been complete. Trying to close this thing out, though. Still 12 laps to go here in stage number 1.
Todd, obviously we're not taking the Haas to victory lane just yet. You talked earlier in the broadcast about the track is going to go through some changes. We've completed 100 laps. We're getting ready to go into sunset. When is the first change coming? When can these teams anticipate it?
Well, I feel like the first change is lap 35 when we make that first green flag cycle. I think the next one's going to happen when the sun sets. When we actually get sundown, we go to seeing the lights, not just being on, but seeing the lights lighting the racetrack up, because that turns 1 and 2 will lose temperature from not having that radiant heat from the sun on it.
As we stay here under the green flag, things begin to tighten up just a bit for the number 7 spot. John Hunter Nemechek, and that strategy they've been employing just get passed now by Christopher Bell for the 7th spot, Todd.
And I look at this, I'm going to think there's a lot of crew chiefs paying attention to what John Hunter Nemechek has done in this run, being on 1 stop and being 8th. Now, we've still got 10 laps to go, but he's going to solidly keep himself in the top 15 with that single stop strategy. I will be interested to see how many crew chiefs will kind of morph their strategy for stage 2 into this, because it lays out just a few laps shorter.
Right now on the racetrack, we continue under the green flag. Michael McDowell will bring his Spire Motorsports Chevrolet in for a pit stop. Let's cover it here at lap 106.
As Michael McDowell's team changes off for Goodyear Eagles on his car, a little top off with Sunoco Racing Fuel. That Delaware Life Chevrolet will make its way back out on the racetrack. He's on a bit of a different cycle as well. He is 1 lap down, back in the 30th position. If you're just joining us here on the Motor Racing Network, we welcome you to Darlington Raceway. Down to 8 laps to go here in the opening stage. Lap 1, turn number 2, things got interesting. Playoff driver Josh Berry spun his race car, backed it into the outside safer barrier off turn number 2, collected a couple of other drivers. Everybody else able to get away relatively unscathed, but Josh Berry's been back in the Cup Series garage, and they've been repairing that race car nonstop, and they're still working on that race car as we speak.
Yeah, right now in the 38th position. Of course, Josh coming into this race, one of the playoff drivers, and his playoffs have gotten off to a disastrous start. He came in 1 point below the cut line in the 13th seeded position. And right now, Josh Berry finds himself way behind the 8 ball, 32 points below the cut line, and we're not even out of stage 1 just yet.
Yeah, it's been a tough start here, obviously, to the Cookout Southern 500, let alone the playoffs for Josh Berry, but you're just simply going to have to regroup and try to rebound and do all you can to continue on. You know, when you look at the playoff drivers, Mike, arguably the hottest driver coming into the playoffs is Ryan Blaney and what he's been able to do. However, statistically, this has not been one of the better racetracks for Blaney at the moment. Blaney just chugging along outside the top 10 in the 11th position.
Well, you know, you can make that argument last week at Daytona. You know, Daytona and him haven't necessarily gelled as well as they could have over the years because he's been so close to winning races, haven't been able to seal the deal. He did that last week, and he won the Coke Zero Sugar 400. But that was a culmination of what he was able to do over the last 5 or 6 weeks when they gained the most points of everybody leading up to this playoff opener here at Darlington Raceway. And a lot of folks feel that Ryan Blaney could be the spoiler right off the get-go. Those Team Penske Ford Mustangs run very well. Obviously, when playoff time comes, Penske knows how to respond. And Ryan Blaney right now, 11th on the leaderboard, I think is in a great position. He's 11.8 seconds behind the race leader, but Steve Post, never rule Ryan Blaney out, especially when you put him on a worn racetrack like this.
He is really, really good at this style of racing, and those numbers at Darlington could certainly improve here. Listening to Ryan Blaney in his conversations with Jonathan Hassler, they just lack speed on the long run. The tires seem to fall off speed-wise a little quicker than everybody else. They made an air pressure adjustment the last time, and they haven't really said anything about that tire speed falling out of them. So we'll see what that air pressure adjustment did and how Ryan Blaney and this crew react as they continue to try to dial up a good one here at Darlington Raceway here when we get to the end of stage one.
Top 5 finish for Blaney here in the spring race in the Goodyear 400, but that's been his only top 5 finish in a Cup car here at Darlington in 17 NASCAR Cup Series starts. So if it's time to start trending well at a track you haven't really had a lot of success at, now's the time to do that.
Meanwhile, here comes Chase Briscoe out of turn number 4. 2 laps to go in stage number 1, and we are now 109 green flag laps into this run. Davies in front of you in 2.
And Chase Briscoe hopes that trend continues. Nice green flag racing because he's got acres of daylight between himself and the second place machine of Denny Hamlin.
And there's also 3 separate lap cars that Chase Briscoe has now put between himself and the aforementioned car of Denny Hamlin. You can also throw Tyler Reddick in that mix.
Yeah, Reddick just able to squeeze by Hamlin, so give Reddick the second spot now. Hamlin drop kick back to 3rd. Here's the race leader in traffic. Flying by the start-finish line, we begin the final lap of stage 1.
Chase Briscoe has held this thing in the palm of his hand so far. Not going to have to mess with any lap traffic, although he's got a couple of very fast lap cars on fresher tires behind him.
That would be the machines of Shane Van Gisbergen and Todd Gilliland racing for a spot. However, the leader is in turn 4.
Chase Briscoe takes that Toyota Camry up against the outside wall. Shane Van Gisbergen is trying to get a lap back, and he won't be able to do it. Here comes Briscoe out of turn number 4. The green and white checkered flag is waving. Stage 1 of the Cookout Southern 500 is over. Briscoe wins it with Tyler Reddick in 2nd. Denny Hamlin in 3rd, Ross Chastain 4th, and Bubba Wallace is 5th. Kyle Larson finishes stage 1 in 6th, with Christopher Bell in 7th, Austin Cindric in 8th, John Hunter Nemechek in 9th, and Ryan Blaney in 10th.
In the last turn, coming to the green and white checkered flag, back for the 25th position, Shane Van Gisbergen passed not just Riley Herbst, but also Todd Gilliland. Shane Van Gisbergen in 1 turn, coming to the green and white checkered flag, put himself in position for the free pass to get his lap back.
Cookout and Darlington, fast service and fast cars. Awesome food at max speed. Cookout is where the hamburgers are charred, grilled, always fresh, never frozen. The best way to fill up is with a Cookout tray that includes an ice-cold fountain drink. And Cookout has over 40 fresh shakes, flavor options. Yummy. So fans, don't forget to race through the Cookout drive-thru for a Cookout tray today. They're open late.
Looking for a weekly motorsports podcast to stay up to date on what's happening on and off the track? The Motor Racing Network is the place. Hear from NASCAR crew chiefs on MRN Crew Call. All the happenings from regional touring series and local tracks on NASCAR Coast to Coast. Sprint Car Talk on Winged Nation. NASCAR history on MRN Classic Races. And hear from the drivers on NASCAR Live. MRN podcasts available on MRN.com, YouTube, or your favorite podcast platform.
The Xfinity fastest lap of the race so far belongs to Chase Briscoe. He turned a lap at 166.947 miles per hour. If it stands, they will claim the Xfinity fastest lap award and earn 1 championship point. Sign up today for a super fast connection to NASCAR and never miss a second of the action. Learn more at Xfinity.com.
From Darlington Raceway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
From legendary races to heart-pounding finishes, NASCAR Channel is your 24/7 pit stop for all things NASCAR. streaming classic moments, iconic rivalries, and behind-the-scenes stories from the world's greatest drivers. Dive into the NASCAR culture with shows about the cars, the teams, and the personalities that make it America's most exciting motorsport. Best of all, it's completely free. Stream anytime, anywhere. No fees, no strings, just NASCAR. Start streaming now on Tubi.
Looking for motorsports coverage you can't find anywhere else? Look no further than the Motor Racing Network's lineup of weekly podcasts. NASCAR news and interviews on NASCAR Live and NASCAR Live Wide Open. NASCAR Cup Series Insight on Crew Call. NASCAR Grassroots Racing News and Talk on NASCAR Coast to Coast. And Sprint Car Talk on Wing Nation. All these and more available on podcast platforms and MRN.com.
Back at Darlington Raceway, pit road is open, and it's pit stop time. Lap 118, everybody peels off the banking in turn number 4, 45 miles an hour. Everyone makes their way to their pit stalls. Our pit coverage begins with Wendy Venturini.
Kyle Larson giving up the 6th position. He felt like the entry into 3 was rough. The balance was a little bit better, but he was beating the tires up. 4 tires and Sunoco fuel. He's down and away. Ross Chastain in that 4th position. He couldn't keep the rear tires into the ground, so they made a chassis adjustment. 4 tires, Sunoco fuel. Steve Post.
Christopher Bell a little loose getting down into turn number 3. Wants just a minor adjustment there. Chase Briscoe really good in 1 and 2. Car's a little bit tight in 3 and 4. Denny Hamlin pretty good all around. The battle off from pit road. Chase Briscoe going to be the first one down and away, Chris Wilner.
Finishing second in the stage was Tyler Reddick. Was really happy with the long run pace. Said, I can't believe I drove around Denny Hamlin on older tires. They like the handling, just felt like the track is starting to shape up for a major change as the sun goes down. Bubba Wallace was in after finishing 5th. He went about a half round back of the free adjustment they did on the last pit stop as the track begins to tighten up. And also Ty Gibbs said it was building loose on his Toyota. They made an air pressure adjustment, 4 tires and fuel here at the end of stage 1.
Here's the top 5 off of pit road presented by National Debt Relief. It was Chase Briscoe the first off the lane, followed by Denny Hamlin, Ross Chastain, Tyler Reddick, and Bubba Wallace. Struggling with credit card debt? National Debt Relief can help you get back on track. They negotiate with your creditors to reduce the amount you owe. Ready to take back your life? Well, visit nationaldebtrelief.com to get started.
So I just switched to Straight Talk Wireless.
Uh-oh, we just ran out of gas.
Great, gives us time to watch the race.
You know the next town is 50 miles away, right?
Don't worry, I have real unlimited data now.
But how are we going to get out of here?
We got about 200 laps before we need to figure that out.
Get a free 5G phone with select plans and real unlimited data only for a limited time at Straight Talk. Available at your local Walmart and straighttalk.com. Straight Talk is an official partner of NASCAR. Taxes and fees apply. Require single line activation on a qualifying plan for network management practices. Visit straighttalk.com. Copyright 2025 Verizon. NASCAR is a registered trademark of the National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing, LLC.
Steven Wilson punched his ticket at Michigan to fight for the eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series title. NASCAR's officially sanctioned esports series featuring the top sim racers from around the world. The playoff field has 2 races left to decide the top 4 that will make it into the championship 4. Tune in on Tuesday, September 2nd at 8 p.m. Eastern for round 2 of the playoffs from Texas, live on eNASCAR.com. Brought to you by Coca-Cola iRacing and NASCAR.
From Darlington Raceway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Do you have an unused car, truck, motorcycle, boat, or RV taking up space? Put it to good use by donating it to the NASCAR Foundation. Proceeds help fund medical resources for children in our racing community. Your wheels can heal. Call 844-NASCAR-9 and we'll come tow away your vehicle for free. The process is quick and your gift is tax deductible. Call 844-NASCAR-9 to donate your vehicle to the NASCAR Foundation today. Your donation will help our children survive and thrive.
Want to know the latest with short track racing around the country? Well, one show has you covered, NASCAR Coast to Coast. Hi, I'm Chris Wilner. Join me each week as we break down the biggest headlines in grassroots racing and in NASCAR's regional and touring series. We'll also talk with rising stars from your favorite short track. Once again, it's NASCAR Coast to Coast, and you can watch or listen today on YouTube, Facebook, MRN.com, or on your favorite podcast platform.
welcome you back to Darlington Raceway on a perfect evening for the Cookout Southern 500. Crown Jewel race here. Been racing this race since 1950. This is a track that everybody circles on the calendar. You may love it, you may hate it, but everybody wants to win here at Darlington.
And some of the legends of the sport have won. Some legends have not. Some have been reduced to a win or two, but you think of David Pearson, who's won it 10 times, Dale Earnhardt, who's won it 9 times, Jeff Gordon, who's won it 6 times. And then you think of Chase Briscoe 1 year ago, won it for the very first time. He was talking about the trophy that will be handed out later tonight. It has the faces and the names and the years that they've won. He says it's pretty freaky that my name's on that trophy, but he's not going to give it back.
No, you're never going to do that. The very first race here, back in 1950, 75 drivers started 3 abreast, Indianapolis 500 style, for a stock car race. It lasted 6 hours, 38 minutes. And that was just incredible. Crews underestimated how many tires the gritty surface would chew up, and they went to the infield. Back then, they didn't have the official tire of NASCAR and Goodyear and specific race-type tires, essentially street tires. So they went out in the infield and were offering people cash money to buy their tires off of their street cars, and people were actually selling it, putting a little extra money in their pocket, and that's how they did it. And that race, it was won by an Indianapolis 500 driver, Johnny Mance, who was the slowest qualifier in the 75-car field. He also chose to run the race on a much harder tire compound than what everybody else did. So to have the tires get eaten up at Darlington, that's not something that's just here recent.
Field has gotten the one to go signal. They're doubled up for the restart on the back straightaway. Chase Briscoe leads Denny Hamlin, Ross Chastain, Tyler Reddick, and Bubba Wallace. They were the fast 5 off pit road. Kyle Larson will restart in 6th. Christopher Bell in 7th. Austin Cindric in 8th. John Hunter Nemechek, he's having a great run tonight. He's 9th. And Ryan Blaney will restart in position number 10.
I think we need to keep a close eye on John Hunter Nemechek and what he and that team have done to try to maybe force other teams into their strategy. Todd, as we get set for a restart, how important is it for the crew chiefs up and down pit road to watch what they've been doing?
I think there's a lot of crew chiefs down pit road that may adjust how they run this second stage. I feel like John Hunter showed that one stopping is potentially faster than 2 stopping. I wonder how many will adapt to that.
Field comes to the restart zone, and Denny Hamlin and Chase Briscoe come together here under the green flag, side by side. They'll race to 1.
Hamlin has the advantage by a nose. He squeezes Briscoe all the way up to the outside wall. Chase Briscoe, though, keeps the hammer down. They're side by side for the lead.
Still double wide for the top spot. Denny Hamlin to the inside of Chase Briscoe, racing to turn number 3. Hamlin drives it in deep and gets away by half a car length.
But Chase Briscoe rallies back topside. Briscoe gets a nose out in front. Joe Gibbs Racing Toyota side by side for the lead in the Southern 500.
Racing very, very hard for that number 1 spot. Denny Hamlin again goes in deep, drives it up, slides up across the nose of Briscoe. Denny Hamlin to the lead off turn 2.
Briscoe had a big moment. He had to jump out of the throttle, and he coughed up the lead. Battle for 3rd is on behind Briscoe. Here is Tyler Reddick jumping to the inside of Ross Chastain.
Chase Briscoe now looks to the bottom of the racetrack. He's trying to reclaim the lead, while Chase Briscoe has to fall back in line and follow Hamlin across the line. Denny Hamlin leads for the first time of the evening behind the front 2. Traffic stacks up from 3rd on back.
3rd place belongs to Ross Chastain. He's got a trunk full of Tyler Reddick. Just a car length back is Bubba Wallace.
Behind Bubba Wallace, that's where you find the HendrickCars.com Chevy of Kyle Larson. Larson is 6th. Here is Bubba Wallace taking a peek to the inside for a moment on Tyler Reddick before.
Reddick is solid right there in that position. He's going to hang on to the spot up off of turn number 4. Now, on the front straightaway last time by, Carson Hocevar doored Chase Elliott. They made hard contact here down the straightaway. Neither driver, Dave, was letting up, and they continue that fight in 1.
Hocevar runs right in front of Chase Elliott. He is in a side-by-side battle with John Hunter Nemechek. Nemechek to the inside of Hocevar. Here comes Elliott, 3 wide.
They're 3 wide down the Boeing backstretch. Chase Elliott will take 2 spots as he heads to 3.
Here's Chase Elliott. He'll dive to the bottom of the racetrack. He'll pass Hocevar. He'll pass Nemechek. Put Chase Elliott in position number 13. Scramble now behind them as Elliott and Nemechek try to get together. Hocevar and others looking on.
Aggressive racing outside the top 15. Nemechek on the inside. Elliott on the outside. 3 car lengths back to Carson Hocevar.
They still remain side by side for this spot. Again, Nemechek fighting with Chase Elliott. Chevy Toyota battle back to the corner.
What a great race here, deeper in the field. If you don't think every single position matters, especially for Chase Elliott, who's a playoff driver, then think again. This fight is not over yet. They're still knotted together headed to turn 1.
For the moment, John Hunter Nemechek is going to fall in on the back bumper of the Napa Auto Parts Chevrolet, driven by Chase Elliott. But by the time they get to 2, he's already looking low.
Further up as that battle settles down. Battle inside of the top 10. Eric Jones pulls to the inside of William Byron.
While at the same time, Chase Briscoe pulls to the inside of Denny Hamlin off turn 4 for the lead. Briscoe didn't have the real estate to get it done, but it's a tight battle with lap 129 on the board.
Right on the back bumper of the leader into turn number 1. Unable to make the move this time. Hamlin runs a little low off turn 2 to try and block a run.
Hamlin has about a car length or 2 right now as the leader over Chase Briscoe. Then it's a significant gap back to the third place Chevrolet of Ross Chastain, Reddick, and Wallace, the top 5.
Side by side again for the race lead in Darlington. Briscoe to the inside of Hamlin. He gets a quarter panel alongside. Briscoe is there as they race to turn 1.
Chase Briscoe on the comeback trail, trying to dial up that low line and get even with Denny Hamlin. Hamlin right up next to the safer barrier. He's got the momentum. He'll hang on to the lead.
Briscoe continuing to pressure Denny Hamlin for the top spot here in Darlington. Single file, about a half a car length apart, racing back to turn 3.
This race for the lead is 1.5 seconds ahead of Ross Chastain that has emerged from the pack in third. Tyler Reddick, Bubba Wallace rounding out the top 5. All eyes right now are on this ongoing battle for the lead between Joe Gibbs Racing teammates.
And down to the inside once again. Here comes Chase Briscoe, just swarming the back bumper of Denny Hamlin's Toyota. He'll fall back in the tire tracks off 2.
And I think Briscoe right now is a little bit faster than Denny Hamlin, but of course here at Darlington it is always difficult to pass. Briscoe's now trying to size up Hamlin and figure out how to get by.
He's going to dive to the inside of turns 3 and 4 again, does Chase Briscoe. Can't quite get there on exit of turn 4. Hamlin hangs on to the top spot. Briscoe continues to give chase.
Denny Hamlin, a master of aero blocking. He can move that car 6 or 8 inches left or right and take away the momentum. Here comes Briscoe again. Oh, he's got him this time off turn 2.
Hamlin slipped up in the middle of the corner and he loses the lead. Chase Briscoe now the new leader. Halfway down the back straightaway, Hamlin falls back to the runner-up position.
Chase Briscoe goes back to the lead at lap 132, and as he comes across the start-finish line, he will lead his 93rd lap of the 132 that have been completed tonight in Darlington. Hamlin will fall back into second position. And Dave, now that things have settled down in front of the top 5, top 10, it's all about saving those tires, especially at your end of the racetrack.
Yeah, it is. Absolutely so. Just trying to run a fast pace without losing tire wear. Chase Briscoe pulling away now from Hamlin.
Here they come up off turn number 4. Sun getting lower on the horizon. Good start to the race for Toyota. They occupy 6 of the top 8 positions on pit lane under green flag conditions. Here's Alex Bowman back to pit road. Chris Wilmer.
And the march to try to get back on the lead lap continues for this Ally team. Remember the pit gun, the tire changing gun failed on the last pit stop. They went 3 laps down. They were 2 laps down, opted to go to stay out under the last caution, get the wave, and now pit under green for 4 Goodyear tires and Sunoco fuel. Alex a lap down, but that's going to minimize the time now, the rest of this stage, as they search to get back on the lead lap.
And now, as they race their way onto the racetrack, Alex Bowman, that Ally Chevrolet team, have had a miserable night. In case you're just joining us, they've been riddled with problems ever since the dropping of the green flag. Alex, they were the team of the playoff drivers that were the deepest in the field, and things have just not gone their way so far.
No, and this is the point of the season that you want to be hitting on all 8 cylinders, no pun intended. But right now, they have not only stubbed their big toe on the dresser, they've stubbed all 5 toes on their right foot, and they're getting ready to start stubbing the left side. They've got to do something here to try to get out of this hole. That's why the green flag pit stop, the different things they're doing. But Todd Gordon, as a crew chief, not having the backup pit gun ready to go, that's a bitter pill to swallow.
Yeah, that's preparation. We got to be on. I mean, that's one of those things that you talk about going into the playoffs is, and even building the weeks into the playoffs is being prepared for all situations. not just assuming things are going to go perfectly. How do we have the ability to recover from issues on race day, whether it be on pit road or on the racetrack?
And quite frankly, you expect more from the Hendrick Motorsports team. They're always buttoned up. They're always so prepared, and it almost like they missed dotting a couple of I's and missed crossing a couple of T's today.
Yeah, and in today's world, there's kind of pit departments, too. This doesn't fall as much on the crew chief, although giving that direction is there, but those pit crews should be buttoned up to that point and have that prepared and ready to go. That shouldn't have had to been something they had to come back over the wall to reconnect.
Fans of Josh Berry, he crashed on lap number 1 in turn 2. He is back on the racetrack. Josh Berry is 119 laps down. But here's the thing, Mike. You might say, okay, what's the point? Why are you back out there? We still got 230 laps of racing still to go in tonight's race.
Well, it's funny you bring that up because this is almost similar to what Cliff Daniels and Kyle Larson went through in the Goodyear 400 in the spring. And I specifically asked Cliff, why do you take, I think they were in the garage 150 laps in the spring race. He wanted to get everybody in the rhythm of crash repair when they needed it deeper in the year, the closer they got to the playoffs. And in the playoffs, get those crew members in that cadence and everyone knowing the routine of what they needed to do to get that car back out onto the racetrack if they needed it.
And I think for Cliff, that's definitely a need for this. In this situation, Josh Berry, new to Wood Brothers. Miles Stanley, his crew chief, new to crew chiefing the Wood Brothers. They're building a notebook. They plan on being a playoff car come next year. They need to have a notebook of what happens on this racetrack as it transitions into tonight, what the balance is, what they can do. This is almost a test session for them. And oh, by the way, if there's a wreck that takes out 3 or 4 contenders, we've got enough laps that they can actually pass those cars on the position chart. And if they want to do what Cliff's done, go out, start being low fuel, put stickers on at different times, try to find that fastest lap. That's a point at the end of the day.
The Xfinity fastest lap of the race is worth 1 extra championship point. But Josh Berry back in the race, 119 laps down. We've got 90 to go in stage number 2, and Chase Briscoe is up front.
The thrills of NASCAR racing from over 55 years of Motor Racing Network broadcasts.
Bobby Allison brings the race car right down in the middle of the track, crosses the start-finish line, and he will win the 24th annual Daytona 500.
Bill Elliott wins the Hooters 500. Alan Kulwicki, 1992 champion.
MRN Classic Races.
And in the whole pack steaming for the finish line, Dale Earnhardt wins a Winston 500.
Find all the classic moments on MRN Classic Races on any podcast platform.
Are you ready for sights, sounds, and speed that'll shake you to your core? To see NASCAR stars like Ryan Blaney, Chase Elliott, Bubba Wallace, Denny Hamlin, and Ross Chastain attack the asphalt? Are you ready to make memories that'll last a lifetime? Yeah? You're ready. Then we got one more question. What are you waiting for? To experience the thrill of a NASCAR race in person, visit NASCAR.com/tickets.
Challenge and change for the number 2 spot here on the front straightaway. Ross Chastain out drag racing Denny Hamlin to the corner. Give Chastain the second spot. Hamlin back to third. They are 1.3 seconds behind current race leader Chase Briscoe. From Darlington Raceway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
NASCAR fans, get ready to feel the rush. The official NASCAR Tracks app is your ultimate race day companion. From managing your event tickets to navigating with wayfinding maps, event schedules, and facility info, it's got everything you need to make your experience unforgettable.
Ready, green flag,
Bring your headphones and dive into the action like never before with live scanner access.
Got a race to win, my man.
Listen in on driver and team communications at select NASCAR Tracks. Download NASCAR Tracks now on the Apple App Store or Google Play.
NASCAR history.
Petty wins his 200th career NASCAR victory.
Told by the people who made that history.
President Reagan was there. He got us on the front page, and we got him in the sports page. It was a good trade-off from that standpoint.
Motor Racing Network's NASCAR Live presents podcast The Road to Royalty. Jeff Gordon, A Colorful Career, 50 Years of MRN, the 1993 season, Junior's Journey, and more. Search for NASCAR Live on your favorite podcast platform.
picture-perfect evening here in Darlington, South Carolina for the Cookout Southern 500. We're in the mid stages of this renewal of this race. Chase Briscoe at the front of the field, Ross Chastain second, and now Mike, a new third-place runner just a couple of laps ago.
Tyler Reddick has gotten by Denny Hamlin. Last few laps have not been kind to Denny. He's fallen back into the fourth position. And after leading a few laps ago, he now finds himself in fourth, 2.7 seconds behind race leader Chase Briscoe. How about a shout out to Austin Dillon, who's having a good run here tonight. Austin and everyone trying to make their way towards the front of the field. Although it could be better, he has been running closer to the front. But Wendy Venturini, you just share with us some communication for that race team as far as it pertained, that is, to the driver and what he was doing on the racetrack.
Austin Dillon currently in the 24th position. When grandfather Richard Childress comes on the radio during the race and gives some advice, you know Austin Dillon is listening. Richard Childress said, you have to change your line. You have to get a little bit higher. They are killing you on the bottom. Austin Dillon came over to the radio with a 10-4, bud.
Well, that's something that they're going to have to do and try to adjust to. But, Todd, we're getting closer and closer to full darkness here in Darlington. This transition from full sunlight into complete darkness, what types of things does this track normally do at this stage of the race?
Usually picks up a little bit of pace because it picks up some grip as it cools off. And that's one of the pieces, with these cars, whether it might change how much it travels, whether it hits rear limiters or pieces like that. Something in the fast fire-off laps. Now, on a green flag run, as we lose pace, you're not going to have that. But just how it fires off on a green flag, especially on restarts, be something we'll watch and see how that plays out tonight.
Of course, green flag pit stops have been the name of the game so far tonight for the most part. We have had caution flag pit stops at the end of stage one, but it's all been about, for the most part, about the two-stop strategy. Some, like John Hunter Nemechek, have tried the one-stop strategy, and that's what makes this race and this racetrack so unique, that there are options, and you don't have to be married to just one strategy. There are a couple that you could attach to.
Yeah, and we all thought, the guys that I talked to through the garage, a lot of them thought we'd two-stop each stage. There were some people that said, by the math, I could see where the second stage we could one-stop, but John Hunter showed it in the first stage, coming out there with a top 10 finish after one-stopping it from a 28 starting position. Really interesting as that went through. If you were to two-stop this, mathematically, it'd be another 6 laps from now. So we'll see if the cycle starts here or if the field has kind of identified what's going on and goes another 20 laps to the midpoint.
We'll wait and see how this plays out here in stage number 2. But Dave Moody, right now, we've got a picture-perfect sunset and a great Cookout Southern 500 going on.
Another gorgeous Darlington sunset. For my money, it's probably the home of the best racing sunsets on the circuit. No doubt about it. Unfortunately, as the sun begins to set, Denny Hamlin's beginning to struggle a little bit here. He's lost the second spot to Ross Chastain, lost third to Tyler Reddick. Now he's falling back into the clutches of Bubba Wallace and Christopher
Trouble
Bell.
out of turn number 4. One car gets turned around and spins to the bottom of the racetrack. It's Carson Hocevar who will spin to the inside. He'll keep the car out of the inside retaining wall. He'll refire the car and drive away. But Carson Hocevar will spin, and he'll put us under the third caution flag of the night.
Well, this will change strategy and make it a little bit easier for everybody right now.
Yeah, we're going to two-stop this stage. The first one's going to be under caution here at about lap 155.
Carson Hocevar has left the spin scene. The caution flag is flying, and that no doubt will set up caution flag pit stops in the Cookout Southern 500.
This is what being a NASCAR fan is all about. Singular history and tradition.
Thank you, everybody, for coming out.
And triple header playoffs action to ratchet up the stakes. Throw in a can't-miss concert, and you've got more than a race. You've got Talladega. NASCAR Playoffs Weekend at Talladega, October 17th through the 19th. Get your tickets now at TalladegaSuperspeedway.com. Ticketmaster, the official ticketing partner of NASCAR.
NASCAR history.
What I learned from Ken Squire, Barney Hall, and Ned Jarrett, I could never repay. Ken never told me what to say or what not to say. I learned very quickly that I was never going to be another Ken Squire. I don't think anybody could rise to that level.
Motor Racing Network's NASCAR Live presents podcasts 50 years of MRN. Jeff Gordon, A Colorful Career, the 1993 season, Junior's Journey, and more. Search for NASCAR Live on your favorite podcast platform.
We continue under the caution flag, third one of the evening, as the field has been picked up by the pace car. Pit road will be open in just a moment from Darlington Raceway. This is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and I dedicate a lot of my time going fast. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. Visit alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
This is Kyle Larson.
I'm David Grau.
Hi, I'm Donnie Shaw.
This is Brian Brown.
This is Danny Dietrich.
Wing Nation is your go-to destination for all the latest sprint car news and interviews from the stars of sprint car racing from around the country. This is Steve Post. Aaron Evernham, Ashley Strummy, and I will have all the latest news, insights, and conversations on Wing Nation's YouTube or Facebook pages, or listen and download and subscribe to Wing Nation on any podcast platform.
Wing Nation.
Wing Nation.
Wing Nation.
Wing Nation. All sprint cars, all the time.
Back at Darlington Raceway, pit road is open. Pit stops happening at lap 154. Wendy Venturini.
Ross Chastain in the second position has been tight in. He felt like he was on the edge of the racetrack, especially off turn 4. It's going to be 4-tire Sunoco fuel. Kyle Larson in. Crew Chief Cliff Daniels said they were going to try something different and big. And also on pit road, Eric Jones feels good, but he was sliding into turn 1, and he was having a hard time to run into the rubber of the racetrack. They made a chassis adjustment with 4 tires and Sunoco fuel. Steve Post.
John Hunter Nemechek was in all contact down here. Carson Hocevar and Christopher Bell get together. Hocevar's car sitting the wrong way around here on pit road. Ryan Blaney tiptoes around the outside. Now Hocevar going to back his car into the pit box. Denny Hamlin sits on pit road. His car was very, very loose, and it looks like they've made a major adjustment to the Denny Hamlin car as well, Chris Wilner.
For Tyler Reddick, he was a quarter number tighter after getting around Denny Hamlin for that third position there before the caution, so they made an air pressure adjustment. 4-tire Sunoco fuel. Bubba Wallace, slow stop on the right side. They lost several positions after their 4-tire change. He still felt like the rear security is what they were trying to address on that pit stop, and Chase Elliott actually came in and said it was hard on the right rear, so Alan Gustafson make an adjustment on that 4-tire change here on lap number 154.
And while that was going on, Denny Hamlin had a disastrous pit stop. We'll recap it as we continue under the caution flag here in Darlington.
Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. Black Buffalo products are intended for adults aged 21 and older who are consumers of nicotine or tobacco.
Hey, it's Ryan Blaney, 2023 NASCAR Cup Series champion. If you know me, I did Black Buffalo Long Cut. Black Buffalo is America's only credible smokeless tobacco alternative. Black Buffalo was established in America in 2015, and it dips just like the real thing, without the tobacco leaf or stem. You can find Black Buffalo at thousands of retailers across the USA near you. Black Buffalo Tobacco Alternative. If it's everything you love about dip, nothing you don't.
Every hero's story has a humble beginning. Every legend had to earn their stripes. Every superstar had a dream.
It's been a fairy tale season.
Every home track is the start of something special.
That's just good old short track racing.
Oh, little retaliation. Holy cow! Learn more about NASCAR regional tracks near you at NASCAR.com/regional.
From Darlington Raceway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
One last exhale. Fitting, isn't it? The final shot at the Championship 4 comes down to a track that's been here from day one. Martinsville. Close quarters, tight corners, and a fan experience that brings you so close to the action, all of the mayhem will be right at your fingertips.
NASCAR Playoffs weekend at Martinsville Speedway, October 23rd through the 26th. Get your tickets now at martinsvillespeedway.com. Ticketmaster, the official ticketing partner of NASCAR.
Drivers, start your engines!
Your home for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series.
Green flag goes in the air and we are underway.
On the NASCAR Racing Network.
2x2x2, they're about 10 rows deep of double-wide racing. Taylor Gray to the bottom, Nick Sanchez outside, and they're crashing mid-pack.
It's the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series on the NASCAR Racing Network.
Welcome back to Darlington Raceway. The field is getting the one to go. Got a couple of things to recap before we go back under the green flag. Todd, first, that disastrous pit stop for Denny Hamlin.
Yeah, it looked like the right rear didn't get on, and maybe, I don't know if it was the index or whether it was just putting the nut on. They didn't get it on in time for the jack to drop. The jack man dropped it, was halfway around the car, and they had to motion him back to come back. They were also calling for a right rear wedge adjustment. So not only were they behind there, but then Dylan Dowell, I believe, who's the tire carrier there, fumbled with the wrench, finally got in the window, but definitely slowed the stop down. I think Denny just wanted to make sure everything was done before he took off.
And Chris Wilner, the problem on Bubba Wallace was?
Similar to what Denny Hamlin had. The right rear wasn't tight, and the jackman was already halfway around the front of the car, had to be called back. So a slow stop for Bubba Wallace, something Charles and Ike said they tried to address after that disaster in Richmond, but certainly a costly mistake here on that last pit stop.
Field comes up off of turn number 4. Get back to the restart zone. Shannon Bednarik on top of the flag stand. She puts the green flag in the air. Through the gearbox we go. Ross Chastain to the inside of Chase Briscoe.
Nobody able to get the advantage as they enter the 25-degree banking. Around the outside now, Chase Briscoe gets a bit of momentum. Chastain, though, hangs with him off 2.
Chastain keeps the inside lane open and remains wheel to wheel with Chase Briscoe for the race lead going to 3.
Here's Chase Briscoe, fender out in front, but Briscoe comes flying around the outside. Side by side for the lead. Toyota to the outside. Chevrolet downstairs. Lap 158 on the board. It's a dead heat to 1.
Eric Jones has taken sole possession of the number 3 position at the front. Around the outside, it's Chase Briscoe. He'll get the lead at the exit of 2.
Chase Briscoe to the lead. Ross Chastain now second. Eric Jones, the top 3 cars in single file formation. First car out of line is Ty Gibbs racing with A.J. Allmendinger.
Down to the bottom of the racetrack goes that matte black Toyota of Ty Gibbs, trying to get some room to race off turn 4. Allmendinger too strong topside. He'll hang on to the position. This is the fight for 7th on back.
Challenge now is on for the number 2 position. Eric Jones, to the surprise of nobody, strong here at the track. Too tough to tame. All over the back bumper of Chastain.
Eric Jones flexing a little bit of muscle here at this point of the race. He is on the back bumper of Ross Chastain again, racing for 2nd place.
As we follow that battle for 2nd, just to follow up on the Denny Hamlin story, that pit stop puts him back in the 24th position, where he rides now 3 laps after the restart. Let's follow that battle for 2nd. Chastain and Jones going at it again.
They are nose to tail. Eric Jones following in the tire track as they race for 2nd. Briscoe has gotten clean away with the lead.
Yeah, it's about 10 car lengths, maybe even a little bit more than that right now, the lead that Chase Briscoe has over this ongoing battle for 2nd between Chastain and Jones.
Chastain runs his line right up against the red and white safer barrier. Eric Jones digs hard down at the bottom of the Darlington Raceway, lets the car drift back wide again up off of turn number 4. Further back, A.J. Allmendinger, Christopher Bell side by side.
Bell's got the outside. A.J. trying to take the short way around. Slides up, tries to slide up in front of Bell. He'll get it done. A.J. picks up the number 6 spot.
That is the race for 6 coming out of turn number 2. Give it to A.J. Allmendinger. Christopher Bell has been kicked back to 7th. If Bell checks his mirror, he sees the black Toyota of Ty Gibbs right behind him.
Ty Gibbs rim riding around Darlington Raceway. Christopher Bell using the low lane. It funnels back onto the straightaway in tight formation. 67 laps to go in stage number 2. Chase Briscoe reassumes the lead. Ross Chastain is 2nd. Eric Jones is 3rd. You got Tyler Reddick in 4th and Kyle Larson in 5th. And then, Tim, you got that great battle behind them that involves Allmendinger, Bell, and Gibbs.
All those cars race their way to turn number 3. A.J. Allmendinger holds down the 6th spot. Ty Gibbs has just passed Christopher Bell.
It's been an entertaining Cookout Southern 500 here, and we'll work the mid stages of tonight's race. Here's Eric Jones on the back bumper of Ross Chastain for second.
He's going to dive to the bottom on entry into turn number 1. Try and put a wheel inside the Melon Man. Can't get it done. Chastain will hold him off.
Eric Jones has been very patient thus far, not trying to push the issue, but he is definitely a little bit quicker than Ross Chastain. Now he's just looking for some running room to the inside.
Here comes Eric Jones. He's digging hard yet again. Racing for second with Chastain. Trying to get a fender up alongside. Not there, but Jones is not letting him get away. This battle for second, 2 seconds behind race leader Chase Briscoe.
Eric Jones just hounding the tire tracks of Ross Chastain, but Chastain has not made a bobble, not made a mistake. He'll hold him off by a car length.
And as these two drivers continue to race hard for the second spot, Chase Briscoe continues to get further away as the race leader.
He does again, and once more, Eric Jones goes to the bottom of the racetrack, shows the nose of his green and white Toyota to the inside of Chastain. Can't quite make the move for Eric Jones. Jones has 2 Cookout Southern 500 wins under his belt. He did it in 2019. He did it in 2022. And Wendy Venturini, Eric Jones suddenly is back towards the front of the field.
Yes, they've been continuing to work on the car and the adjustments for Eric Jones. Before that last pit stop, he said that the car was not really running the rubber really well. They were sliding into one, and he was losing throttle gradually in turns 3 and 4. They came down pit road on that last stop and did 4 tires, a slight air pressure adjustment, but Eric Jones is really flexing his muscle here at the track. Too tough to take.
What a run for Eric Jones here in the early going, 166 laps complete, and Alex, they need a good run. It has been a lot of headwinds for Eric Jones and John Hunter Nemechek and Legacy Motor Club, but in the offseason, Jimmy Johnson made a lot of personnel changes, and again, Todd Gordon, you can speak to this. When you're trying to turn performance, it's not turning a jet ski. It's turning a cruise ship, and you got to give it time, and it takes a long time. You got to trust the process.
You do. And Jimmy's done a great job in identifying what they needed to do last year. You know, the first year back with Toyota, everybody wanted to talk about Toyota's influence. It's going to be immediate. It's not. You have to build the processes, build the procedures, the departments to be able to digest all that you can get from a manufacturer. They've done a good job in the offseason of putting new people in places. Brought Brian Campion, brought Chad Johnston, brought several other pieces into the fold here, and you're seeing the rewards of that coming out in the second half of the season.
And combined between Eric Jones and John Hunter Nemechek, they've got more top 5 finishes this season than Legacy Motor Club had before coming in combined. Steve Post, Legacy Motor Club, pointed in the right direction.
Jimmy Johnson does a podcast called Never Settle and was listening to it this week, and Jimmy shared the story of last week in Daytona. He was up in one of the suites, glad-handing, shaking hands with one of the sponsors, and he looked up, and his 2 cars were leading the race at Daytona. He grabbed a beer out of the cooler and said, "Guys, I got to go watch this," and he went down in the grandstands, and he watched his cars lead the race at Daytona. Jimmy doesn't believe he's ever sat in the stands. Jimmy did not have radio contact. He sat there in the stands and thought, man, you know what? We're doing all right. This is pretty cool. This is a neat scene. I'll tell you, they had a good run at Daytona last week. Both these cars are running in the top 10 tonight. So you're right, Jimmy Johnson getting to enjoy the fruits of a lot of labor. Looks like these teams both are headed in a really good direction.
And knowing how dedicated Jimmy Johnson is and knowing how focused he is, the performance will be there at some point. Now, whether it's with Eric Jones or John Hunter Nemechek, that remains to be seen. Matter of fact, speaking of Eric Jones, Tim, he's on the move on the backstretch.
He just made the pass, did Eric Jones around Ross Chastain. Here's Tyler Reddick to the inside, trying to also pass Chastain.
This is 3-car fight for the number 2 spot here in the Cookout Southern 500. Race leader Chase Briscoe gone by 3.5 seconds. Jones now to second. He's going to bring another Toyota with him behind him and Tyler Reddick.
Ross Chastain takes the short end of that exchange as he falls back to the number 4 spot, and he may not stay there long. Here comes Kyle Larson.
Kyle Larson looming larger in the rearview mirror. Behind Larson is A.J. Allmendinger. Battle for second, tightening up in turn 3. Tyler Reddick going after Eric Jones.
Tyler Reddick and Eric Jones racing for the number 2 position. 58 laps to go in stage number 2. Here's now how they're running, brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless, official partner of NASCAR. Fans of fast get real unlimited data on reliable 5G with no contracts or hidden fees. Now at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Straight Talk Wireless.
Chase Briscoe is the race leader. Eric Jones is second. Tyler Reddick goes third, and Ross Chastain is fourth. Kyle Larson is fifth. A.J. Allmendinger up to sixth. Ty Gibbs is seventh. Eighth on the racetrack is John Hunter Nemechek. Ninth is Chase Elliott, and Ryan Preece is 10th.
11th is Chris Buescher. Bubba Wallace is 12th. Kyle Busch is 13th. Christopher Bell is 14th. Joey Logano is 15th. Austin Cindric is 16th, with Justin Haley in 17th. Noah Gragson in 18th. Ryan Blaney is 19th, and Shane Van Gisbergen is 20th.
Running 21st at the moment is Carson Hocevar. William Byron back in 22nd. Austin Dillon is 23rd. Cole Custer 24th. Denny Hamlin is 25th. Michael McDowell is 26th. He's the last car on the lead lap. Currently, the first car one lap down is Zane Smith. Todd Gilliland is 28th. 29th is Riley Herbst, and Daniel Suarez is 30th.
Cody Ware is 31st. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is 32nd. Brad Keselowski is 33rd. Ty Dillon is 2 laps down in 34th. So is Alex Bowman in 35th. Derek Kraus is 3 laps down in 36th. Timmy Hill, 7 laps down in 37th. And Josh Berry, after being involved in a lap 1 crash, is 124 laps down in the 38th position. All cars are on the racetrack with 175 laps complete.
If 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with AutoPay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here. Based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
The only thing that's changed while we were away is Chase Briscoe's lead has gotten larger. His advantage now over Eric Jones is 4.8 seconds, with Tyler Reddick, Ross Chastain, and Kyle Larson rounding out the top 5. From Darlington Raceway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Are you ready for sights, sounds, and speed that'll shake you to your core? To see NASCAR stars like Ryan Blaney, Chase Elliott, Bubba Wallace, Denny Hamlin, and Ross Chastain attack the asphalt? Are you ready to make memories that'll last a lifetime? Yeah? You're ready. Then we got one more question. What are you waiting for? To experience the thrill of a NASCAR race in person, visit NASCAR.com/tickets.
The year was 1993. The NASCAR Cup Series season kicked off with the Dale and Dale Show at the Daytona 500.
Dale Jarrett's got the lead. He goes to the inside. Earnhardt's not going to get him. Dale Jarrett is going to win the Daytona 500 by STP. Earnhardt second.
The 1993 NASCAR Cup Series season. All the highs and lows. Relive them all on MRN's exclusive podcast, The 1993 Season. Available on podcast platforms and MRN.com.
Welcome back to Darlington Raceway, presented on MRN by Progressive Insurance. Protect the stuff you love with renter's insurance. Visit Progressive.com.
Right now, let's take a full sweep down the pit lane and follow up on some stories that are developing throughout the running of tonight's race, starting with Steve Post.
Christopher Bell out here running inside the top 10. We documented that damage on pit road with that contact with Carson Hocevar. Christopher has also bounced it off the safer barriers, got himself a Darlington stripe. Listening to the radio, they have not said one word about the damage. They did not feel the pit road was a problem, and they've not said one word about him scuffing that car up on the wall here. So Christopher Bell, pretty good race car here. We'll see if Adam Stevens and him can dial up something to get that car just a little bit better. He's dealing overall, though, with a little bit of a loose condition. Chris Wilner?
Well, they've been taking a lot of swings at the A.J. Allmendinger Chevrolet for Kaulig Racing, and it is paying off. Here in stage number 2. He's climbed his way well inside the top 10 into the 6th position. Just checked in with the team. He said the best balance just happened after the last adjustment. They made a major swing. Earlier in the night, he was plowing so much that he felt like he was going to tear the wall down in turn number 3 and 4. They've remedied that problem. Just feel like they got to focus on some rear security and getting some grip back in that Chevrolet. But A.J. Allmendinger, who statistically, this is his worst racetrack on average finish with more than 3 starts. They're starting to make gains. He and Trent Owens and the whole crew currently rides in the 6th spot. Wendy?
Ryan Preece has muscled his way into the top 10. Earlier, he said he needed to roll the center better without making the back of the car loose. They've continued to work on the car, and most recently, Ryan Preece came over the radio and said, "It's the best we've been. The car is definitely coming to me. It feels unreal in turns 3 and 4, which is a good thing for Ryan Preece," and he left off the final statement, letter E.
Ryan Preece up to the 9th position. He's gained 18 positions since the initial dropping of the green flag of this race. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Motor Racing Network. The NASCAR Cup Series playoff opener is underway at Darlington Raceway in South Carolina. Welcome in to Motor Racing Network's live coverage of the Cookout Southern 500, a Labor Day weekend classic. Mike Bagley here alongside Alex Hayden and Todd Gordon. Dave Moody and Tim Catalfamo are in the corners. Pit and garage coverage tonight from Steve Post, Chris Wilner, and Wendy Venturini. If you are just joining us, Chase Briscoe is whooping up on this field. We have completed 185 laps. Chase Briscoe has led 146 of them. John Hunter Nemechek has led laps tonight. So is Bubba Wallace, Denny Hamlin, and Christopher Bell. But right now, Alex, all eyes are on Chase Briscoe and green flag pit stops coming up.
Right now, as a matter of fact, Ryan Blaney has brought that highlighter yellow Menards Ford Mustang Dark Horse down the pit lane. He'll make his way in front of a ongoing stop in front of Steve Post.
Now, Ryan Blaney brings that car in. They've just been fighting a loose condition over the course of this one, and also just overall grip on the long run. Here they come around to the left side. Going to be 4 tires Sunoco Racing Fuel. The pit stop here on lap 186 for Ryan Blaney. Wendy?
Kyle Larson on pit road. The last time they came down pit road, they took a big swing. It was 4 tires Sunoco Fuel for Kyle Larson. Austin Dillon also on pit road. It's going to be 4 tires and air pressure adjustment for him. Also, William Byron, much happier with the grip. Earlier, it was plowing for him. They made a chassis adjustment with 4 tires and Sunoco Fuel. Chris Wilner.
Lap number 187 for Michael McDowell. Tight in 1 and 2. Loose at 3 and 4. They made a significant adjustment. 4 tires and fuel. Here comes Tyler Reddick, who pits from the top 5 position. Said, "I'm still too tight on fire off and 20 laps in." They loosened him up there. 4 tires and fuel, Wendy.
Ross Chastain brought his car in, and he was feeling a little bit tight early on. They made that air pressure adjustment. Also, Eric Jones just coming to a stop on pit road at lap 188. 4 tires Sunoco Fuel. A little bit slow on the right side for Eric Jones. I'm going to guess he's going to lose some spots here on these green flag pit stops. Steve Post.
Chase Briscoe, also known as Buddy Boy, brings his Toyota into the crew. Wow, they were quick on the right side. Here they are on the left side. They have nailed that pit stop. Chase Briscoe is down and away. John Hunter Nemechek was in 3 or 4 laps ago. Here's Joey Logano, brings the Shell Pennzoil car into the attention of Paul Wolf and the crew. Right side tires go on that car. The pit box behind him is Shane Van Gisbergen. The pit box in front of him, Denny Hamlin. Still very, very loose. Chassis adjustment for Denny Hamlin. All these pit stops here on lap number 189.
That turns the lead over to Chase Elliott, who stays on the racetrack. Chase Elliott, matter of fact, working his way through turns 3 and 4 right now. These are the first laps he has led tonight, as Chase Elliott and that Napa number 9 Hendrick Motorsports team goes to the top of the leaderboard. We're in the middle of a cycle of green flag pit stops. Chase Elliott has yet to pit. Justin Haley is yet to pit, along with Austin Cindric, Noah Gragson, Christopher Bell. Carson Hocevar has not made it down pit road. Neither has Cole Custer. And once those drivers do, Alex, that will cycle us through this most recent cycle of green flag pit stops.
We've had 15 official lead changes at the start-finish line here in tonight's race among 8 different drivers. In last year's Southern 500, we had 26 lead changes. We are well on our way to that right now, as we're more than halfway there, and we are just hitting the halfway point here in the Cookout Southern 500, just past it. So this is an entertaining race. The different strategies that are ongoing right now, and the ebbs and flows of racing here at Darlington Raceway.
Todd, we were talking earlier. You said this track went through its first change in the first cycle of pit stops at lap 35. You said the second was coming when the lighting takes over the racetrack. We have reached that point right now. So what's going on with these race cars and these race teams?
Yeah, these guys are really trying to adjust to what the drivers had talked about in this last run and where this green flag cycle is going to be as we continue to see this cycle of pit stops happen. Cindric's on pit road along with Christopher Bell. We'll see them come to him. Wendy?
The two of Austin. Cindric is in for 4 tires of Sunoco fuel. Austin just hasn't been really happy this last time around, so they do make an air pressure adjustment for him on Austin Cindric's machine. Steve Post.
Here comes Christopher Bell. The Ream colors on the Toyota crew around to the right side. They're going to take a quick peek at the right front splitter. Christopher's a little concerned there might be some damage. Minor chassis adjustment on the car. Left side tires off, left side tires on, and he is down and away. Christopher Bell completing his pit service.
Justin Haley is on pit road. Carson Hocevar. Cole Custer's on pit road. Let's follow Custer's stop.
He comes to a stop. The crew working on the right side. Maybe a 4-tire change for the general Cole Custer. Been a relatively clean day for Cole. Still fighting the balance on that Ford Mustang. Left side service is complete. He's down and away.
Chase Elliott is the race leader right now. Last on pit road, lap 154. His tire's much older. He's going to be passed by a lot of cars as we run at the moment. Kyle Busch in the 15th position has just unlapped himself around the race leader. Kyle Busch now in 15th is the last car on the lead lap.
Here's Chase Elliott. He'll put the brakes on at the end of the back straightaway. He'll pull that Chevy down to the bottom of the racetrack and ease it onto the pit lane. And again, it's 45 miles an hour. Chase will woe that car down, and he will come down for his turn on pit road. Let's cover the Chase Elliott stop as he will give up the lead right now by making this pit stop at lap 195.
40 laps of green flag running on his tires. So Chase Elliott complaining that he feels like he really needs help on the turn, but don't hurt the rear of the car. Crew already done on the right side. Goodyear tires going in on the left side. Sunoco fuel is in. He's down and away for Chase Elliott.
Chase Elliott makes his way back out as he pulls out in front of the Freeway.com Chevrolet of Daniel Suarez. We've got 35 laps to go in stage number 2. Chase Elliott gives up the race lead. Chase Briscoe will grab it back, and he'll become the leader of lap 149 of the 195 that have been run.
At Progressive, we understand the bond you have with your boat. It's why people name theirs.
I was pretty hungry and looking at a menu when I named my boat Change Your Tuna. The backup names were Trick or Trout, I Salmon Lee Swear, and, oh, it gets worse, New Squid on the Block. It wasn't my best day.
Whatever you call your boat, protect it. And start with a quote from Progressive, America's #1 boat insurer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. #1 rating based on boat market share data from ratefilings.com.
Do you have $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is letting everyone know about great debt relief options now available to help people with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of your credit card debt. Get a free debt relief consultation when you call 800-212-2828. 800-212-2828. That's 800-212-2828.
Back here at Darlington Raceway, Chase Briscoe's lead now. 2 seconds over second place Tyler Reddick. Eric Jones will go back to third. Kyle Larson fourth, and Ross Chastain is fifth. That's how they run after a cycle of green flag pit stops. 32 laps to go now in stage number 2. From Darlington Raceway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Hi, I'm Kyle Petty, and I want to tell you about a place that's near and dear to my heart. Victory Junction. It's a year-round camp that gives kids with complex medical and physical conditions life-changing experiences that are fun, empowering, and always free for families. Please help Victory Junction support kids who need it the most by getting involved today. Whether you know a child who could benefit, want to volunteer, or join our team, you can be a part of something truly special. Learn more by visiting Victory DickJunction.org.
NASCAR Live isn't just Tuesday nights. On Thursday, we go wide open with some of the sport's biggest legends.
Dover's so good that even concrete couldn't ruin it.
And some of NASCAR's rising stars.
I don't like getting drove in the back of, and I honestly don't like doing it. But you're not buddy-buddy with everybody, and I've had to learn that.
NASCAR Live Wide Open has you covered from the rookie class all the way to the Hall of Fame. Subscribe now wherever you listen to podcasts.
Sun nearly set here in Darlington, South Carolina. Off behind turns 3 and 4 to our west. A nice orange hue has taken over the sky. To our right here, back towards Myrtle Beach and Georgetown and Conway. It's much darker over there to the east. What a night we've got as we race the mid-stages here of the Southern 500.
It is a beautiful night. It's an uncharacteristic cooler night, Dave Mooney. Normally, when we come to Darlington, we're just...
Trouble back straightaway. One car spins in the middle of the straightaway. That is Cody Ware. He got loose coming off of turn number 2, almost slid up into the line of traffic. The right rear tire is down on his Ford Mustang as he finally comes to a stop on the apron in turn 3.
Put us under the caution flag now for the 4th time in the race for a problem in front of Tim Catalfamo.
Cody Ware was sideways halfway down the back straightaway. It looked like he either had a problem coming off of the corner or there was contact. It was difficult to tell. The right rear tire was flat. It is down to the rim. And now that Cody Ware has finally stopped sliding, the safety team here at Darlington Raceway has come out to assess the situation. They are looking at Cody Ware, who still has the window net up on his car. The problem is the tires are down. He's not going anywhere anytime soon. The wrecker is now pulling out onto the racetrack.
Well, right now, Cody Ware is facing basically northbound in the southbound lane, and the wrecker is trying to come up and attach the wrecking device or the towing device to it. However, he's flailing inside of the car as if he wants a push to get back. And I don't think that's going to happen. We'll keep tabs on that as we have been slowed now for the 4th time for caution in the Cookout Southern 500. Chase Briscoe leads at lap 203.
Hey, I hear you think podcasts are all about true crime, huh? Well, wise guy, the iHeartRadio app's got all kinds of podcasts. We got stuff you should know and stuff they don't want you to know. We got Bobby Bones, Big Boy, and Lou Later. We got SpongeBob Binge Pants and Exotic Erotic Story Time. We got Doughboys, Two Dudes in a Kitchen, Green Eggs and Dan. Hey, we got Elf Quest. We got podcasts for everything on the iHeartRadio app for free. If you don't download that, well, that's not just a true crime, my friend. That's criminal.
Welcome to more.
Green flag is in the air.
More action. More awesome. More smoke. More sizzle. More soar. More roar. More friends. More family. Welcome to the one place where no matter who you are, you'll leave with something you'll never forget. Welcome to NASCAR.
Pit Road will be open in a moment from Darlington Raceway. This is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR. We are getting ready to crown a champion.
Championship weekend is coming back to the desert.
Let's get this party started.
4 title races in 3 days means there will be a buzz in the air all weekend long, whether from the grandstands, the infield experience, or the hillside. This is your chance to witness history and make championship caliber memories for the whole family. NASCAR Championship Weekend at Phoenix Raceway, October 31st through November 2nd. Get your tickets now at PhoenixRaceway.com. Ticketmaster, the official ticketing partner of NASCAR.
We're at the start-finish line.
William Byron on pole position. Green flag is out and we're racing.
We're in the turn.
Here to the inside comes Kyle Larson. He and Hamlin bump.
We're on pit road.
4 tires Sonoma Racing Fuel. The face-off from pit road is Denny Hamlin. Eric Jones goes off second.
We are live from the track. The Motor Racing Network, your home for NASCAR racing. Don't miss a lap, pit stop, or side-by-side race for the win. Listen to all the play-by-play action on your local radio station and MRN or NASCAR.com.
Pit Road is open, lap 205, Wendy Venturini.
Kyle Larson, one of the first cars on my end at pit road. It's going to be 4 tires and fuel for him. Eric Jones is also in. He's been pretty confident about his race car. 4 tires for him. Ross Chastain, they're putting a half a pound pole for Ross Chastain. He's given up that 5th position steep post.
Now Hunter Nemechek is in for Tire Sunoco Racing Fuel. Chase Briscoe is in as well. He's going to lead the charge off from pit road. Here's Denny Hamlin. That car just will not tighten up. They keep making adjustments on him, but he is mired deep in the field. Joey Logano gets pit service here as well, Chris Wilner.
Slow stop for Chase Elliott. Had an issue on the left side, just left his pit box, but lost a ton of positions towards the front. Tyler Reddick said, I need to be freed up just a little bit more, and I need a water bottle. So they were able to do that for Tyler. 4 tires and fuel. Bubba Wallace happy in 3 and 4, just searching around in 1 and 2. They made an air pressure adjustment. 4 tires in Sunoco fuel. AJ Allmendinger also needs to be freed up. They did so on this pit stop here on lap number 205.
Let's check back in with Steve Post.
Christopher Bell, an extended stay. We talked about the damage on pit road when he made contact with Carson Hocevar. We also talked about damage up on the wall. Not sure where this came from, but the right front splitter of this car has come loose from the race car. So 4 crew members over there with the Jackman working on with tape, getting the splitter attached and properly aligned on the Christopher Bell car. So a costly stop here for Christopher Bell, who had ran in the top 10 most of the evening.
25 laps to go in stage number 2, 162 to go in tonight's race.
Kyle Larson brings his Chevy 4 tires Sunoco Racing Fuel.
From fueling NASCAR champions on the track for over 20 years to innovating 94 octane, the highest octane on the market. Performance is what Sunoco does. All Sunoco fuel at the pump meets the same top-tier standards as the fuel used in NASCAR.
Here for Ryan Blaney, 4 tires with Sunoco fuel.
From the track to your tank, you can trust Sunoco to help your vehicle perform at its peak.
We are the voice of NASCAR.
The green flag is in the air, and we are underway. The Great American Race.
The Motor Racing Network. NASCAR Cup, Xfinity, and Craftsman Truck Series Racing live on your hometown radio station and MRN or NASCAR.com. Martinsville, Talladega, the Chicago Street Course. We have the side-by-side action and last lap passes for the win.
Photo finishes. Ryan Blaney will win.
The voice of NASCAR, the Motor Racing Network.
From Darlington Raceway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Gear up. Visit the NASCAR shop online to find all of your favorite officially licensed NASCAR product. The NASCAR shop is the official online store of NASCAR and your destination for all of your favorite hats, t-shirts, die-casts, and more. Whether tailgating, home gating, or anything in between, visit NASCAR.com/shop for the widest assortment and best selection of NASCAR gear today.
Looking for motorsports podcasts you won't find anywhere else? Check out the Motor Racing Network's lineup of exclusive podcasts. MRN Classic Races, Junior's Journey, The Many Hats of Jack Roush, Richard Petty, Road to Royalty, 50 Years of MRN, Jeff Gordon, A Colorful Career, and The Tough Trucks of NASCAR. Find these and more MRN exclusive podcasts on podcast providers and MRN.com.
The one-to-go signal being displayed here at the start-finish line. Drivers are choosing what lane to restart in as we get set to put them back under the green flag. There will be 22 laps to go, Mike, here in stage number 2.
It has been a very interesting Cookout Southern 500 tonight. Lots of drivers, playoff drivers, having challenges. Josh Berry, Tyler Reddick, Alex Bowman, Denny Hamlin, Ryan Blaney, Christopher Bell, Bubba Wallace, William Byron, Shane Van Gisbergen in the most recent. Alex, it's a night of tough sledding, as it always is in this race, especially for basically half of the playoff field.
Yeah, we have had a ton of the drivers. 7 of the 16 have had playoff issues so far, including Chase Briscoe. We'll follow up with Steve Post there here in just a moment as the field makes their way up off of turn number 4 to hit the restart zone.
Green flag will fly with 208 laps complete, 159 to go. Chase Briscoe now will leap out in front. Eric Jones will shove him from the high lane as it stacks up downstairs as well.
Around the outside, Chase Briscoe trying to take the lead, but Tyler Reddick digging hard in that low lane. They are side by side to the backstretch.
Reddick hanging with Briscoe stride for stride down the backstretch. Here's Eric Jones looking 3 wide for the lead in the turn 3.
What a move. Still 3 wide in turn 3. 3 wide in the midpoint. 3 wide in turn 4 at Darlington. Off turn number 4, back down to the line. Eric Jones will have to give up the ghost. Now Tyler Reddick, side by side. Trouble off turn 4. Ryan Blaney goes for a spin. Caution is on the speedway. Blaney gets turned around. He'll grab a gear and pull away, but things getting awfully tight throughout everybody in this restart.
Caution flag number 5 is flying over the Cookout Southern 500. Ryan Blaney having a problem coming out of turn number 4, spinning to the inside of the racetrack. Doesn't look like there's any damage on that Menards Ford Mustang, but Ryan Blaney having another setback in his playoff kickoff tonight here in Darlington. Now, one thing we need to follow up on. Chase Briscoe has led 161 laps of the 209. However, Steve Post, is there a problem brewing for the race leader?
There's a potential problem right now. Chase and James Small had a conversation during the last caution. He said that the car, the alternator, or the voltage was just jumping up and down and all over the place. So James Small reminded him of something they did at Homestead, and I don't recall this happening with it. He said, remember Homestead? Just turn the alternator off. He said, we should be all right. That should take care of that, but just keep an eye on it and keep us reported on what is going on. So a possible electrical gremlin for Chase Briscoe. Right now, James Small is keeping pretty positive outlook on it, but we'll have to see if it does rear its head a little bit later on.
Yeah, that's one we'll have to see how that plays out. Watching the replay here of the 12 spin, the 8 car got loose off of turn 4. Ryan Blaney was behind Kyle Busch. He kind of checked up for him. Austin Dillon was behind Ryan Blaney, kind of got him in the left rear and hooked him down there. Just a kiss of the left rear bumper cover to the inside wall. I don't think any damage really to speak of to the 12 car, other than a flat right front tire.
And some hurt feelings and a lot of positions to make up.
At Napa, we are the pros that know electrical systems are complex. That's why we deliver solutions that keep it simple. From starters and alternators to premium batteries and the testers to diagnose them, Napa provides the high-quality products your customers can count on. Whether you're a local shop or managing a national fleet, Napa has the new or remanufactured electrical parts to keep your business powered up and running strong. Find your parts right now at Napa.
Oh, Kansas. Here we go.
Second half today.
You just don't stop giving, do you?
Green flag, we're underway.
The closest finish in NASCAR Cup Series history.
Finish, boys.
Close to downtown, amazing campgrounds, 3 NASCAR races in one weekend, and it's the playoffs.
God damn right.
Now you're just showing off. But we're not mad. In fact, we're looking forward to it. NASCAR Playoffs Weekend at Kansas Speedway, September 26th through the 28th. Get your tickets now at kansasspeedway.com.
From Darlington Raceway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Go behind the scenes and into the garages of the sport's top teams and drivers on NASCAR Hot Pass.
You know, if you win, then your problems are likely solved.
There's going to be issues with track limits in the S's, right? Because they're just tight.
A normal occurrence is qualifying from 28th to 32nd. That's just something we're going to continue to keep on working on.
It's the latest information you want to know on NASCAR Hot Pass. Weekdays on the Motor Racing Network.
Steven Wilson punched his ticket at Michigan to fight for the eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series title. NASCAR's officially sanctioned esports series featuring the top sim racers from around the world. The playoff field has 2 races left to decide the top 4 that will make it into the championship 4. Tune in on Tuesday, September 2nd at 8 p.m. Eastern for round 2 of the playoffs from Texas, live on eNASCAR.com. Brought to you by Coca-Cola iRacing and NASCAR.
We welcome you back to Darlington Raceway, working the caution flag for the 5th time. This for the incident off turn 4, where it's just a racing incident where Ryan Blaney got turned around after having to check up when Kyle Busch got his car kicked sideways. Steve Post, not only Ryan Blaney, but also Christopher Bell have been on the pit lane.
Yeah, a couple of our playoff drivers down here. The Blaney car, they did not feel like there was any damage to the car. He had a right front flat tire, so they changed tires on that automobile, and they had the chance to take a good look at it, and still Jonathan Hassler feels like the car is all right, so they avoided any contact with anything out there. there. Christopher Bell, we documented the right front splitter on that car. They continue to massage away on that. They've got it repaired and buttoned up, so it's attached, but now they're just kind of massaging to make sure that it's properly angled, properly aligned to give him the best aerodynamics on that race car.
So that's the story on the pit lane there that Steve Post is describing on his end of the pit road. Seems like there may be a potential problem for Kyle Larson, Wendy Venturini?
Yes, he is complaining of radio communication. It was worse under the green flag conditions. So what they did the last time, handed him another radio with a more powerful antenna, and they're hoping that works. They do know the problem is in the earbud of the helmet. And the only way to fix the earbud in the helmet is to switch the helmet for Kyle Larson. So Cliff Daniels has been very mindful of making this radio switch with a powerful antenna. And if this does not work for Kyle Larson when they go back green, they will possibly make a helmet switch.
Now, tough issues there. So you can add Kyle Larson to the list of playoff drivers that have had some sort of an issue tonight. We're up to 9 playoff drivers that have had some kind of a problem here in tonight's race.
Getting the one-to-go signal right now. Alex, you talk about these playoff drivers having problems. You know, it used to be that the race in the playoffs that would give the most problems was Kansas. We'd go into Kansas, and it's almost like everybody would have problems there. We're the first race in, and over half the playoff field's having challenges already.
Yeah, you think back to Kansas back in those days, and I've lived through it. The lower the air pressure was, the faster the car went, and it was that knife edge of were you going to get down below that? But here we are tonight. This is such too tough to tame. That's what Darlington's called. And all these playoff teams, it's ratcheted up, and they're just having to kind of put it together. Having to see how they recover today. That's going to be the interesting part.
Right now, got to get through a restart. They make their way into the restart zone, and back on the hammer they go. Green flag is in the air. Outside lane, Chase Briscoe gets a big jump. Also a pretty good shot in the back bumper, courtesy of Kyle Larson.
Tyler Reddick on the comeback trail, though. He gets a little shove into turn one from Eric Jones. They are side by side for the lead on the backstretch.
Chase Briscoe up on the outside lane. The machine of Tyler Reddick, rather, to the inside. Eric Jones battles with Larson for third.
Oh, Reddick gets a bit loose in the bottom of turn numbers 3 and 4. He's got to come out of the throttle, and that'll give Chase Briscoe the lead. Briscoe leads at lap 2:15. Reddick, Larson, Jones, and others stack up behind them.
Chase Briscoe quickly scoots away by 2 now. 3 car lengths as they race in turn number 2. Another 5 back to the third-place machine of Larson.
And behind Larson is the aforementioned Eric Jones. His Toyota Camry about a car length or 2 ahead of the A.J. Allmendinger Chevy in 5th.
AJ having a good run here this afternoon and into the evening. Dave, you and I both had a chance to chat with Trent Owens. He was optimistic about what their night was going to hold.
He was indeed very optimistic as they came here to Darlington. Wow, the challenge is on for third. A little bit of contact. Eric Jones shoves Kyle Larson out of the way.
Eric Jones very aggressive, able to complete that pass. So Jones grabs third away from Larson. Here's Larson now starting to feel the heat from A.J. Allmendinger.
A.J. Allmendinger in Colleague Racing right now in the top 5 of the Cookout Southern 500. And right now, A.J. Allmendinger once more took a peek to the inside of Larson, Dave, but couldn't find the room he needed to race.
It's been a long and frustrating season. Not a lot of highlights for A.J. Allmendinger in that crew, but boy, they could turn it around with a great run here tonight. He's working the back bumper of Kyle Larson.
And not too far behind A.J. Allmendinger is Ross Chastain. So both those 2 cars lining up behind the machine of Kyle Larson. Further back, Bubba Wallace and John Hunter Nemechek battle for a spot.
That's a pretty good race 4 position there. That is for the 7th and 8th spots, which are up for grabs as they come flying by the start-finish line. Further up, Allmendinger's got a mirror full of Ross Chastain.
Chastain goes to the outside lane on entry into turn number 1. A.J. running a lower line, about a car width off the outside wall.
This is the battle for 5th, headed to the Boeing backstretch right now. A.J. Allmendinger has it. Ross Chastain wants to take it away. They remain 2 car lengths apart.
Problems further back for Austin Dillon in turn 2. Looks like a little contact there with Austin Cindric. Austin Dillon went up and just glanced off the outside wall. He's keeping the car going in a straight line, but obviously close quarters racing deep in the field at lap 219. So with 148 laps to go in the race, Chase Briscoe leads. Tyler Reddick, Eric Jones, Kyle Larson, A.J. Allmendinger the top 5. And again, Alex, John Hunter Nemechek continues to be a firm player inside the top 10. He's running in 8th.
Well, he and all of Legacy Motor Club. Eric Jones is running in the 3rd spot, so a really good night here for this Legacy Motor Club team as we're down to 10 laps to go in stage number 2 as the field races back to turn 1.
Jimmy Johnson may have to step out into the grandstands and take a seat again. Both of their cars running solidly in the top 10, trying to chase down Briscoe.
Eric Jones, one of those Legacy Motor Club machines, right now in the 3rd position. Further back, John Hunter Nemechek has got a fender to the inside of Bubba Wallace in turn 3.
Bubba Wallace under fire right now. They race side by side. Nemechek and Wallace there as everybody comes off the corner. Again, as Alex mentioned, less than 10 laps to go in stage 2. Let's follow this Bubba Wallace, John Hunter Nemechek race to the corner.
That's the battle for the number 7 position. Wallace right up on the safer barrier. John Hunter Nemechek trying to run the bottom of the racetrack. Big pull of advantage off the outside for Bubba.
Nemechek just couldn't quite get the power down coming off of turn number 2. Wallace will hold on to the spot as these two race hard for this spot. It's allowing Ryan Preece to close in on both of them.
Preece quietly having a good night. Once the sun has set, that Ford Mustang has come to life. We're down to 8 laps to go here in stage number 2. Back to the corner they go.
Everybody going single file. No major challenges in the top 10 right now. The one constant all night long, Tim, has been Chase Briscoe. He's pulling away again.
Indeed, Dave. Chase Briscoe has got about 10 car lengths over Tyler Reddick. Then it's another 15 back to the 3rd place machine of Eric Jones.
4th place, Kyle Larson, A.J. Allmendinger round out the top 5. Off the corner, Chase Briscoe's lead last lap, 1.1 seconds. Now it's 1.2 as he slowly starts to tiptoe away from Tyler Reddick.
Chase Briscoe has needed a couple of laps to get back up to speed after the restarts, but once he's done, it's long gone.
Briscoe continuing to stretch his legs out in the lead, and the race leader has got clear racetrack in front of him for the moment.
Yeah, he does. It's Chase Briscoe has opened up a 1.2 second lead at this point in the race. Since the drop of the green flag through 224 laps, Chase Briscoe has been outstanding. Not only on the track, the pit crew's been getting the job done as well. Todd, this team right now has a lot of confidence, but you still have to close out stage 2 in the rest of this race.
Yeah, we'll see where this plays out, but I really feel like, they kind of melded. Once they got that win at Pocono, they have had confidence. It's not like they're calling races to call them to fail. They're calling to win at this point. They've had a great run since that win at Pocono.
I've had a chance to visit with Chase Briscoe a lot this year, and one of the things that's come up in conversation is when he replaced Martin Truex Jr., how long was it going to take to get the chemistry going with James Small? And a lot of folks were comparing life with Martin Truex Jr. in that car versus Chase Briscoe in that car, and we've gotten to the point of the season, Todd, where I believe we're starting to see that car perform like it did with Martin Truex Jr. back in the day.
And the impressive part of this pairing is that that car has run well where Chase Briscoe's run well. But that car's also run really well where Martin Truex Jr. ran well. Chase Briscoe has adapted to the setups that have run really well for this program in the 19 team. And James Small has done a good job of giving Chase what he likes to feel out of places that he's excelled as well, kind of melding the best of both worlds.
Confidence is a powerful thing in the sport of NASCAR racing, and right now that entire team has all the confidence in the world.
And they are banging on all 8 cylinders as they come out of turn number 4, leading now what will be the 179th lap of the evening. We've got 3 laps to go in stage number 2 as Chase takes them back to the corner.
And it is all Chase Briscoe. Nothing to worry about except the Cody Ware lap car dead ahead. He will handle him if he needs to. He may not. He's got that much of a lead.
Yeah, in fact, Cody Ware will pull over and allow Chase Briscoe to pass him to the outside as Briscoe once again leads the pack to turn 3.
And runs right up against the safer barrier here at Darlington Raceway. His lead grown to 1.3 seconds now. Tyler Reddick right there in the 2nd spot. Got to give a call to Tyler Reddick, Dave. After that lap 1 tussle that he got mixed up in with Josh Berry, they've rebounded nicely.
They have, and they needed a good one here this week after a couple of weeks of struggle. Tyler Reddick right there in the number 2 spot, looking good on the back straightaway.
Tyler Reddick's got that donut to the left side door of his Toyota Camry, but it has not slowed him down so far. He remains firmly in the top 5.
Right now they race their way off the corner, getting ready to start the final lap of stage 2. Chase Briscoe, Tyler Reddick, Eric Jones, Kyle Larson, and A.J. Allmendinger are the top 5.
He has been the class of the field almost since the drop of the green flag tonight. Half a lap away from closing out stage number 2. It's all Chase Briscoe on the back straightaway.
Chase Briscoe's Bass Pro Shops Toyota Camry to the back straightaway, racing with no traffic around him, setting up for turn 3.
They make their way up off of turn number 4. green and white checkered flag in the right hand of Shannon Bednarik. She puts it in the air. Stage number 2 will come to an end here with Chase Briscoe picking up the stage 2 win. He has swept the stages here in the Cookout Southern 500. Tyler Reddick will finish stage 2 second. Eric Jones will be third. Kyle Larson fourth. A.J. Allmendinger fifth. Ross Chastain sixth. Bubba Wallace seventh. John Hunter Nemechek eighth. Ryan Preece ninth, and William Byron finishes the stage 10th, and that's the top 10 finishers in the stage, presented by Sunoco. From fueling your favorite NASCAR teams to filling up at the pump, Sunoco is trusted to help vehicles perform at their peak. Sunoco, performance is what we do.
So I just switched to Straight Talk Wireless.
Uh-oh, we just ran out of gas.
Great, gives us time to watch the race.
You know the next town is 50 miles away, right?
Don't worry, I have real unlimited data now.
But how are we going to get out of here?
We got about 200 laps before we need to figure that out.
Get a free 5G phone with select plans and real unlimited data only for a limited time at Straight Talk. Available at your local Walmart and straighttalk.com. Straight Talk is an official partner of NASCAR. Taxes and fees apply. Require single line activation on the qualifying plan for network management practices. Visit straighttalk.com. Copyright 2025 Verizon. NASCAR is a registered trademark of the National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing, LLC.
Get ready to rev your engines, NASCAR fans. The thrill, the speed, the action. You can now experience it all for free on the NASCAR channel on Tubi. All-day access to NASCAR action, streaming classic moments, iconic rivalries, and behind-the-scenes stories from the greatest drivers. Best of all, it's completely free. Stream anytime, anywhere on your favorite fast platform. No fees, no strings, just NASCAR. Find the NASCAR channel on your streaming device and start watching today.
Pit stops will be coming up soon. For the moment, pit lane remains closed. From Darlington Raceway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Hi, this is Mike Bagley. Join me along with the cast and crew of the Motor Racing Network every Tuesday night for NASCAR Live. Hear exclusive interviews.
It's my responsibility as a driver to leave the sport in a better place than it was when I got here. And certainly sometimes it comes with controversial takes.
The best moments from each of NASCAR's premier series.
They bang sideways at the line. Photo finish.
An in-depth breakdown to the latest NASCAR news and more. It's NASCAR Live every Tuesday night at 7 Eastern.
This is what being a NASCAR fan is all about. Singular history and tradition.
Thank you, everybody, for coming out.
And triple header playoffs action to ratchet up the stakes.
We gotta go.
Throw in a can't miss concert, and you've got more than a race. You've got Talladega. NASCAR Playoffs Weekend at Talladega, October 17th through the 19th. Get your tickets now at TalladegaSuperspeedway.com. Ticketmaster, the official ticketing partner of NASCAR.
We welcome you back to Darlington Raceway in the Cookout Southern 500. Stage number 2 is in the books. Pit lane will be open this time by the Whelen Engineering green light to drivers left at the entrance to pit road, shining brightly in the South Carolina darkness here as the race leader, Chase Briscoe, pulls the field up off of turn number 4, and we'll begin our pit stops here in just a moment.
Lap 233 will be the lap count as everybody now will angle their cars onto the pit lane. 45 miles an hour. Wendy Venturini, you're there.
They've decided not to make a helmet change on Kyle Larson, who continues to have a little earbud communication issue, but they did switch to a powerful antenna. Now, he says that there's no grip and it felt like old tires on the start. They went up on the air pressure for the short run, but Cliff Daniels is going to free it up a touch. Also, on the one of Ross Chastain, Phil Surgeon gave it more air pressure adjustment for the one car of Ross Chastain as well. Also on pit road, Eric Jones with 4 tires Sunoco fuel. Let's head over to Steve Post.
Yeah, Chase Briscoe was in 4 tires Sunoco Racing fuel. Said the car got a little freer that time. And he's the first one off from pit road. They did not adjust on that race car. John Hunter Nemechek was in. Denny Hamlin was in. Also, Joey Logano. Not been a good night. Just mired 12th to 15th for Joey Logano. Chris Wilner.
Bubba Wallace had to take evasive action on an exit of his pit stall. 4 tires in Sunoco fuel. Said, we're in the window. I'm just either too loose or too tight. About a quarter of a number. So we're in the window, but we're close. An air pressure adjustment there. Tyler Reddick said the fuel's lazy on exit. I can't get it to cut down the hill. They make an adjustment as well on that Toyota with 4 tires and fuel. Plus, A.J. Allmendinger, you guys documented it. He said, it's a bad, fast race car. I just need help with rear grip on exit, especially in turn 4. But what a day for Colleague Racing and A.J. Allmendinger in the top 5. They made 4 tires and Sunoco fuel all here on lap 233.
Ryan Blaney still on the pit lane. We'll follow up there here in just a moment with 134 laps remaining.
At Napa, we've spent the last 100 years building our business into an engine that powers yours. Whether you're big or small, national or local, Napa has the automotive solutions your business needs to stay moving. And it's all driven by a nationwide network of quality parts and exceptional service on one mission: to keep your business moving full speed ahead. That's why we are the pros that know.
Get ready to rev your engines, NASCAR fans. The thrill, the speed, the action. You can now experience it all for free on the NASCAR channel on Tubi. Feel the adrenaline with a library of unforgettable races from Daytona to Talladega. It's a front row seat to NASCAR history. Best of all, it's completely free. Stream anytime, anywhere on your favorite fast platform. No fees, no strings, just NASCAR. Find the NASCAR channel on your streaming device and start watching today.
133 laps to go in tonight's race. Chase Briscoe, the race leader. Tyler Reddick is second. And A.J. Allmendinger is up to third from Darlington Raceway. This is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. Black Buffalo products are intended for adults aged 21 and older who are consumers of nicotine or tobacco.
Hey, it's Ryan Blaney, 2023 NASCAR Cup Series champion. If you know me, I did Black Buffalo Long Cut. Black Buffalo is America's only credible smokeless tobacco alternative. Black Buffalo was established in America in 2015, and it dips just like the real thing, without the tobacco leaf or stem. You can find Black Buffalo at thousands of retailers across the USA near you. Black Buffalo Tobacco Alternative. If it's everything you love about dip, nothing you don't.
Every time the siren sounds or lights flash, someone's life is on the line. At Whelen Engineering, we know first responders carry that weight every day. That's why for over 70 years, we've led the emergency warning industry, designing and manufacturing the lights, sirens, and safety systems they trust right here in America. Because when the mission is critical, there's no room for second best. Whelen Engineering, trusted to protect first responders.
Favorite podcast platform.
Back at Darlington Raceway, working caution flag number 6 of the evening. Spent 29 laps under caution so far. Later today, we will select the Xfinity Mobile Reliable Performance of the race. Xfinity Mobile provides incredible value on the most reliable nationwide 5G network to keep you connected to NASCAR wherever you are. Learn more at xfinity.com/mobile.
132 laps to go in the Cookout Southern 500. We've just wrapped up pit stops after the caution flag came out just a few moments ago. Chase Briscoe, Tyler Reddick, A.J. Allmendinger, Bubba Wallace, Kyle Larson, Ross Chastain, Eric Jones, John Hunter Nemechek, Ryan Preece, and Kyle Busch, all in the top 10 as we were getting ready to kick off the final stage of the Cookout Southern 500. Ryan Blaney is on the pit lane, one of many playoff drivers having problems tonight, and it looks like Postman, they've got more than what they can deal with right now. What's going on with the 12 car?
Yeah, they thought they had kind of dodged a bullet with that spin off from turn number 4, and then the subsequent flat tire going around the racetrack, but they have damage up under the right front splitter of that car, so they've stopped now twice at least during this stop, or this caution period, to work up under that car to kind of massage on it. The aerodynamics on the underside of these cars is so critical, and they're trying to make sure that car is as good as possible. So a little bit of a rough stretch here for Ryan Blaney as he's back on the racetrack trying to catch up the tail end of the field.
Yeah, he is, and he's going to be deep in the field, albeit still on the lead lap. As we sit at the moment, Blaney's the last car on the lead lap, back in 34th position. And for what it's worth, 38 drivers took the green flag back when the sun was still shining. All 38 drivers are still on the track running. And while the track is too tough to tame and has been able to reach out and slap a driver around a couple of times here tonight, everybody is still continuing to battle.
This is amazing stat. I mean, it's rare that you have all cars on the racetrack with this few laps to go. We'll see if that's the case, or perhaps maybe the lady in black gets a little fickle here in the late stages of this race. Pace cars on pit road. Here we come for the restart. It'll come with 237 laps complete. 130 laps to go. Chase Briscoe. Tyler Reddick on the front row. Briscoe does not come up to speed. Here comes Reddick. He'll go blasting to his inside, trying to take the point in one.
Let's see if he can slide up the banking to shut off Briscoe. He does exactly that. Tyler Reddick to the lead off turn number 2.
So it's Tyler Reddick, the leader. Chase Briscoe has been kicked back to second. In third right now is Bubba Wallace. Those top three are single file. Side by side for fourth, Chastain and Dinger.
Chastain dives into the bottom of the racetrack, lets the car drift back to the outside lane. A bold move for Ross Chastain that took over the number 4 spot. Meanwhile, second is up for grabs as Bubba Wallace is on the move.
Wallace is on the march. He takes it to the outside in turn number 1. Trying to close on the back bumper of Chase Briscoe. Can't do it. Briscoe pulls away by 2.
A little bit further back, change in position in the top 10. The machine of John Hunter Nemechek moves around A.J. Allmendinger. They go to 3.
Meanwhile, battle for the leads back on. Chase Briscoe just buries that Toyota to the bottom of the racetrack. He's there, side by side. Briscoe, Reddick, battle for the lead at lap 240.
Down the front straightaway into turn 1. Briscoe goes to the bottom of the racetrack. Slides up, inches off the door of Tyler Reddick. Briscoe can't get him cleared. They're side by side off turn 2.
That was really tight coming out of turn number 2, and I believe Reddick may have bounced off the wall ever so slightly. Briscoe grabs the lead. Reddick to second. Here's Wallace to the inside.
Bubba Wallace to the inside of his 2311 Racing teammate Tyler Reddick. Reddick too strong on the outside lane. He'll hang on to the number 2 spot. Bubba Wallace has to recoil and try again.
A tremendous battle for that number 1 position. For the moment at least, it resides in the hands of Chase Briscoe, but only by a car length and a half over Tyler Reddick.
Then it's another 3 back to pick up Bubba Wallace, who holds down the 3rd position. 4 more car lengths back to pick up Ross Chastain, who rides in 4th.
And John Hunter Nemechek having a great night tonight. He rounds out the top 5. Matter of fact, it's Nemechek, Allmendinger, and his teammate, that's Nemechek's teammate in Eric Jones. They stack it up across the start-finish line, racing for 5th on back.
Here they come into turn number 1. Eric Jones running a very high line. A.J. Allmendinger, as he has all night, about a car width lower on the banking.
Those 2 cars exit turn number 2 and race down the back straightaway, about a car length apart. They set up for turn 3. A.J. Allmendinger goes to the low side. Jones up top.
A.J. Allmendinger having a great run here tonight. As a matter of fact, 5th, 6th, and 7th are non-playoff drivers, and John Hunter Nemechek, A.J. Allmendinger, and Eric Jones back to turn 1.
Here they come. Single file this time into 1 as the battles, at least for the moment, have cooled. You got to go back to the tail end of the top 10 to find Kyle Busch getting a bit of a trunk full right now. Off turn 2 from Chris Buescher.
Kyle Busch has been making moves on the racetrack tonight. He still has that little bit of damage to the right front fender of his car. He's got Chris Buescher all over his back bumper.
They race for the 10th and 11th positions, respectively. We described the tight battle just a couple of laps ago between Chase Briscoe and Tyler Reddick for the race lead. Chris Wheeler, how did that go over with Tyler Reddick?
Not so well, as you can imagine, as he had to relinquish the lead to Chase Briscoe. There actually was contact off of turn 2 with the left front of Tyler Reddick and the right rear of Chase Briscoe. Reddick came over the radio and said, "I'm sorry, but man, that's frustrating." Billy Scott, of course, is the coach, the leader of the team, and the crew chief said, "We will get him on the long run. You just make sure you stay within earshot. We will have another opportunity. Still a long way to go." So still plenty of time, but certainly some hard racing here at the start of stage 3.
Yeah, but they also understand the dominant car tonight has been Chase Briscoe. You got to do all you can to stay in front of him. Briscoe about to lead his 194th lap of tonight's race. I can understand some frustration. I think there may be some frustration there as well, Todd, for the simple fact that nobody's had anything for Briscoe tonight.
Yeah, his speed has been incredible. Even when he's been beat on a restart like he was with Denny Hamlin earlier tonight, he stayed there, worked him over, got by him. Same thing here with Tyler Reddick. Got to the point, got to his inside through 1 and 2. There was contact off of 2. I think Tyler was trying to squeeze Briscoe down a little bit to try to keep him from having momentum. They did make a little contact. Tyler had to jump up the racetrack, didn't get all the way to the wall, but that's just, it's a frustration of having a really fast car you're having to race. He's trying to find a way to keep him behind him.
Right now, Chase Briscoe is gone. His lead last lap, 1.5 seconds. And with 121 to go, let's clock it again at the start-finish line. His lead now, 1.8 seconds. Dave, Chase Briscoe's car just keeps getting stronger as the night goes on.
Once he gets his sails in the wind after a couple of laps following a restart, he just drives off into the sunset. Tim, he's doing it again.
He continues to pull away. Chase Briscoe just has been unstoppable so far tonight. Nobody has had anything for him thus far.
Not at all. Let's follow up with Steve Post on Chase Briscoe and just kind of recap, and Steve, follow up. Any more radio traffic on the Chase Briscoe team about the voltage or electrical issues that they were concerned about?
No, there's been no communication that I've heard on it. A couple of the adjustments they made an issue and turned off the alternator. Chase has also turned off his cooling suit on the race car, and so he's asked for a couple of bags of ice on that last caution period, but really they've not said one word about it, and we'll see how it avails. But boy, it certainly has an impact to the speed of the car. Holy cow, that car is just absolutely rolling. So Chase Briscoe thus far, nothing has been said since that caution about 2 or 3 cautions ago about the alternator and the electrical issue.
I imagine, Alex, that if he has to turn a fan off or two or turn the cool suit off, with the way that car's running right now, he'll be glad to accept that inconvenience.
Yeah, he would. And even though it's still very hot inside these race cars, at least it's not that sweltering summer heat that we're used to having here in Darlington, South Carolina. So a bit of reprieve on that as well, as his Toyota has been the dominant car here tonight. He's led 197 of the 249 laps so far. As a matter of fact, Toyota has led all but 12 laps of tonight's Southern 500, and they've had 6 different drivers in Toyota's lead all those laps here this evening.
You talk about the weather and how cooler it's been. Normally, when we come to Darlington this time of year, our heat indexes are 100 plus, hazy, hot, humid, just exhausting days. Right now, as it's 8:49 p.m. Eastern Time, it's 71 degrees, and it is beautiful outside. And obviously, Todd, the cooler temperatures, that creates a ripple effect on the racetrack and what these teams are encountering right now.
Yeah, it makes the cars have more downforce. It makes the engines make more power. It's everything good. It makes the drivers more comfortable if they have to turn their cool suits off. So, especially when you're out there in clean air in front, Chase Briscoe's a minor inconvenience to shut his cool suit off. I think he's plenty cool under the collar with the speed they've got today.
And he's getting faster. His lead now 2.1 seconds with 116 laps to go.
Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. Black Buffalo products are intended for adults age 21 and older who are consumers of nicotine or tobacco.
Hey, it's Ryan Blaney, 2023 NASCAR Cup Series champion. If you know me, I did Black Buffalo Long Cut. Black Buffalo is America's only credible smokeless tobacco alternative. Black Buffalo was established in America in 2015, and it dips just like the real thing, without the tobacco leaf or stem. You can find Black Buffalo at thousands of retailers across the USA near you. Black Buffalo Tobacco Alternative. If it's everything you love about dip, nothing you don't.
The thrills of NASCAR racing from over 55 years of Motor Racing Network broadcasts.
Bobby Allison brings the race car right down in the middle of the track, crosses the start-finish line, and he will win the 24th annual Daytona 500.
Bill Elliott wins the Hooters 500. Alan Kulwicki, 1992 champion.
MRN Classic Races.
And in the whole pack steaming for the finish line, Dale Earnhardt wins a Winston 500.
Find all the classic moments on MRN Classic Races on any podcast platform.
115 laps to go at Darlington. Chase Briscoe's lead now 2.2 seconds over Tyler Reddick, Bubba Wallace, Ross Chastain, and John Hunter Nemechek. From Darlington Raceway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Hello?
Hey, it's your man Tank. Watching you hold back tears swallowing that celery stick. It's a hard sight to see, Tim.
I'm almost done. Just let me get this down.
Stop it, man. Seriously. We don't have to do this to us.
You're right. I hate veggies so much. How can I be more like you?
Hey, buddy, I am you. Just full of meat. Jack Link's Beef Jerky, official meat snack of NASCAR. Feed your wild side.
Do you have $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is letting everyone know about great debt relief options now available to help people with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of your credit card debt. Get a free debt relief consultation when you call 800-212-2828. 800-212-2828. That's 800-212-2828.
255 laps complete in the Cookout Southern 500. Chase Briscoe continues to lead. He's now led 205 of 256 laps. While we have the opportunity, let's revisit some of the keys to winning the race. Presented by Progressive Insurance. Insurance for motorcycles, boats, and RVs. For protection on the road and on the water, see how much you can save at 1-800-PROGRESSIVE and Progressive.com. Todd?
Yeah, first one was executed on pit road. 11 sets of stickers in the pit boxes. They're going to be coming often, and for sets of them, we've seen several guys have issues and work their way through it, whether it be you're just trying to get these 8-second pit stops, being a little aggressive, right rears, left rears. We've seen them both, and guys have to recover from that, losing a lot of track position. Second one I had, find a rhythm to run the wall. This is an ultimate drive the racetrack, race the racetrack. We're seeing guys that are just kind of, Chase Briscoe, he's figured that out. He's rolling up top there. And the third one I had tonight was keep up with adjustments as the night settles. This is in the darkness. We've now gotten to the point that the racetrack should be fairly consistent from this point forward.
So we continue under the green flag. Steve Post, one of the big topics when we come to Darlington is the Goodyear tires. More importantly, the brand new, what we call sticker Goodyear tires. How many sets do they have left here for this next 109 laps?
Well, you always talk to crew chiefs, and there was a lot of relief when stage number 1 went green the whole way because they split it in thirds, so they used one in the middle or another one in the middle, and then at the end. So right now, all of the teams, with a couple exceptions that have had problems, like Ryan Blaney and people like that, right now, all of the teams running at the front have 4 more sets of stickers. Now, there'll be 2 more pit stops scheduled in this race. We expect this period to be put in thirds, so 2 more scheduled pit stops. So that gives them a couple. They're going to want to hang on to one should there be a late race caution. So right now they feel like they're relatively safe being out of the woods with 4 sets of stickers left for most of the teams here on pit road.
I imagine that is just what the doctor ordered. We've seen races here at Darlington where at this point in the race we've only had a couple of sets left. The caution flags have flown as they normally do. We've not had an overabundance of caution flags tonight, but they've also flown, and it's created the opportunity for natural pitting, meaning you're not pitting back-to-back or you're not going through an overwhelming amount of tires. So right now, there are plenty of sets of Goodyear tires remaining as Cody Ware has a problem coming out of turn number 4. He is off the pace, got puffs of flame coming out of the header. He was shaking the car back and forth, and he's brought that car to the bottom of the racetrack as Cody Ware, for the second time tonight, has a problem.
We stay under the green flag, though, as we continue to motor on here down to 106 laps to go in the race. Wendy Venturini, let's follow up on Kyle Larson. You reported a little earlier in the race that he was having problems with radio communication, especially under green flag conditions. Is it getting any better, or is it still the same?
Yes, it is getting better for Kyle Larson, and I'll tell you what they did. It was having a lot of static, so Cliff Daniels, the crew chief, did not want to eat up the time by making a helmet switch. They have determined that the problem is in the earbud of the helmet, something that you can't fix very easily. However, what they decided to do, because Cliff Daniels is very crafty, they handed him another radio with a more powerful antenna to make the communication a little bit clearer with a stronger signal coming from the radio. It seems to have helped Kyle Larson because they did not want to take the time to change out that helmet, but that was a quick fix by crew chief Cliff Daniels.
Now Kyle Larson running in the 9th position on the racetrack. Let's follow up on the driver that's running second right now, 1.7 seconds behind race leader Chase Briscoe. And we speak of Tyler Reddick, who had problems on lap number 1. He got swept up in that Josh Berry spin off turn number 2. Chris, they've done a great job rebounding tonight, and obviously they come into this playoffs looking for a lot of results and expectations there, especially with some new personnel on that race team.
Absolutely, Mike. It's been a day of resolve for Tyler Reddick right off the get-go, and this crew has stayed really composed over the first 2/3 of this race. You mentioned some new crew members. Well, over the kind of the week between the regular season finale and here, 2 crew members were injured and out for the season. Front changer Devin Lester and jackman Brandon Banks, both suffering knee injuries, so they had to go to the bullpen. Hunter Masling subbed in at changer, and Damian Jackson are in at jackman. Nothing like getting thrown into the fire here in playoff race number 1 at Darlington, where pit crews have been so key over the last several years. They're both part of the development group. They've been training as backups all year. They've even Motorsports as well. So trying to get these crew members up to speed. They've done a nice job. They've been flawless on pit road with an upcoming money stop here in stage number 3.
We talk about Hunter Maslin there, and I've actually had Hunter as a changer when I was at Team Penske, so that dates back a few years. He's good to have in the bullpen, a guy that's understood the experience of playoff racing.
It's part of it, and you got to have some poised crew members who know how to get the job done on the pit lane. There are more pit stops still to go in tonight's race. We have 101 laps remaining in the Southern 500.
Cookout and Darlington. Fast service and fast cars. Awesome food at max speed. Cookout is where the hamburgers are char grilled, always fresh, never frozen. The best way to fill up is with a Cookout tray that includes an ice-cold fountain drink. And Cookout has over 40 fresh shakes, flavor options. Yummy. So fans, don't forget to race through the Cookout drive-thru for a Cookout tray today. They're open late.
Fitting, isn't it? The final shot at the Championship 4 comes down to a track that's been here from day one. Martinsville. Close quarters, tight corners, and a fan experience that brings you so close to the action, all of the mayhem will be right at your fingertips. NASCAR Playoffs weekend at Martinsville Speedway, October 23rd through the 26th. Get your tickets now at martinsvillespeedway.com. Ticketmaster, the official ticketing partner of NASCAR.
Inside of 100 laps to go now, 99 to be exact, and Chase Briscoe's lead is 1 second over Tyler Reddick, who is second. Ross Chastain goes third. John Hunter Nemechek is fourth, and Eric Jones rounds out the top 5. From Darlington Raceway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. Black Buffalo products are intended for adults age 21 and older who are consumers of nicotine or tobacco.
Hey, it's Ryan Blaney, 2023 NASCAR Cup Series champion. If you know me, I did Black Buffalo Long Cut. Black Buffalo is America's only credible smokeless tobacco alternative. Black Buffalo was established in America in 2015, and it dips just like the real thing, without the tobacco leaf or stem. You can find Black Buffalo at thousands of retailers across the USA near you. Black Buffalo Tobacco Alternative. If it's everything you love about dip, nothing you don't.
You've never been one to idly watch someone else do something for you. There's pride in self-reliance, in working with your hands, in harnessing the power of an E3 spark plug with Diamond Fire technology, yielding better engine performance. You have a choice to make. Take control of your ride, of your life, or be the passenger princess of it. Visit e3sparkplugs.com to put the power in your hands.
Or on your favorite podcast platform.
Lap 271 goes on the board as we expect green flag pit stops somewhere in the next 6-8 laps perhaps. Another round of those will be coming up here in just a moment. Before that happens, though, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Motor Racing Network. Motor Racing Network live at Darlington Raceway, the Cookout Southern 500. And our NASCAR Cup Series premier partners, our thanks to them, Busch Light, Coca-Cola, and Xfinity. I'm Alex Hayden alongside Mike Bagley and Todd Gordon. We've got Dave Moody and Tim Catalfamo in the turns, Steve Post, Chris Wilner, and Wendy Venturini in the pits.
Green flag pit stops begin now, lap 273, as several drivers make the move onto the pit lane. Kyle Larson is in front of Wendy.
Kyle Larson coming to a stop. They pull that tear off and also make a chassis adjustment in the left rear. It's 4 tires, Sunoco fuel, also on pit road. Austin Dillon came down for 4 tires. Chris Buescher came down for 4 tires. Steve Post.
Trio of drivers on the playoffs come on down here. Joey Logano, he's reported his car is just very tight up on the top. He can't turn down off from the wall. 4 tires Sunoco Racing Fuel. Christopher Bell is in. 4 tires Sunoco Racing Fuel on his damaged race car. Also in was Ryan Blaney, and he said it's plowing with all the damage on the nose of the car. Here is Chase Briscoe in. Go around to the right side, now around to the left side. Very solid on the right side. Looks good on the left side. Yes, Jack is down, out and away. Chase Briscoe goes out. Almost makes a little contact with Alex Bowman, but they stay off each other, headed down pit road. Chris Wilder.
Both 2311 Toyotas were in. Tyler Reddick said, I need They made an air pressure adjustment, 4 tires and fuel. Bubba Wallace said it felt like practice, plowing tight. They made a significant adjustment on his Toyota, 4 tires and fuel. And Alex Bowman back on the lead lap. They have been searching ever since they went 3 laps down, 4 tires and an adjustment. A.J. Allmendinger now is in as well. Crew already onto the left side. They also are trying to free up that Chevrolet. He said it was plowing in 3 and 4. He's down and away.
Race lead now has been turned over to Ross Chastain. He will take the lead at lap 274. Kyle Busch has cycled up to the 2nd position as everybody right now begins the leading edge of green flag pit stops. This should be the next to last stop of tonight's Cookout Southern 500. Let's cover Kyle Busch. He's on pit road at lap 276.
Well, it's taken 276 laps for Kyle Busch to get back into the top 10, fighting and clawing his way to get there. It's going to be 4 tires, Sunoco fuel. Also on pit road just 1 lap ago, Eric Jones came in. He was a little bit tight. 4 tires and Sunoco fuel for him. Ross Chastain now giving up that lead to hit pit road for his green flag pit stop. No chassis adjustment that I see. It is an air pressure adjustment and a tear up on the windshield for 4 tires for Ross Chastain.
So pit stops continuing on here with still 90 laps remaining here in the Southern 500. Denny Hamlin has inherited the race lead now in this cycle of green flag stops. Carson Hocevar has gone to 2nd. Ty Gibbs is now 3rd. Cole Custer is 4th, and Chase Elliott is the new 5th place runner.
You mentioned Denny Hamlin taking over the lead, Dave. Right now, all the cars that have just gone to pit road and put fresh tires on are blowing Denny's doors off.
Yeah, it's good news, bad news. If you're Denny Hamlin, you're leading the race, but you're also getting passed like you're tied to a stump.
The leaders continue to race on. Tim Catalfamo is over there on top of the Earnhardt Towers in turn number 3, where the drivers come rocketing down the backstretch, roll out of the throttle. A lot of different lanes have been used by the drivers down there in front of you tonight.
Yes, indeed. A lot of drivers have been using multiple lines. Some will enter really low, almost take their cars down to the flat part of the racetrack when they get into the corner, and then allow their car to slide up into the banking. Others will almost hug the outside retaining wall as they exit the back straightaway and work their way through the corner. Then you'll have a few others that'll try to straddle both of those 2 lanes and work their way somewhere in the middle part of turns 3 and 4. This depends on how your car is handling, but a variety of different lines I have seen drivers take tonight.
Ty Gibbs is on pit road at lap 279.
And Artie is peeled out of his pit box. It was a quick 4-tire change. He's been having some handling issues from some damage sustained in an earlier restart, but major complaint has been a tight race car for Ty Gibbs. He's down and away as here comes Denny Hamlin towards Steve Post.
Denny Hamlin brings the sports clip car in. Denny has been a dance between tight and loose. One runs it's loose, one run it's tight. Man, he comes smoking into the pit box. Gets it low down before he gets into the out of bounds range. Goes around now to the left side of the crew. Left side tires off, left side tires on. Denny Hamlin down and away. We'll see if they can hit the sweet spot with that car between tight and loose, Chris Wilder.
Lap 280 stop for Chase Elliott. Said the race car feels numb. They made an adjustment, 4 tires. It was a clean stop. He's down and away.
Chase Briscoe will go back to the top of the leaderboard in this cycle of green flag pit stops. He just got by Shane Van Gisbergen, who is yet to make a stop, but much slower with the older Goodyear tires. Tyler Reddick is back to 3rd. John Hunter Nemechek 4th, and Eric Jones back to the number 5 position. So we stay under the green flag. 86 laps remaining in tonight's race.
Daniel Suarez is in for a stop in lap 281. Daniel Suarez brings that Trackhouse Chevy Camaro onto the pit lane for 4 tires and Sunoco Racing fuel. He'll go back out onto the racetrack and rejoin the fray as well. Chase Briscoe cycles back as the race leader. Tyler Reddick now 1.6 seconds behind him in 2nd. Shane Van Gisbergen still has yet to come to pit road. We expect him in shortly. He's 3rd. John Hunter Nemechek, Eric Jones rounding out the top 5 with 85 laps to go.
Kyle Larson brings his Chevy in. 4 tires, Sunoco Racing fuel.
From fueling NASCAR champions on the track for over 20 years to innovating 94 octane, the highest octane on the market. Performance is what Sunoco does. All Sunoco fuel at the pump meets the same top-tier standards as the fuel used in NASCAR.
Here for Ryan Blaney, 4 tires with Sunoco fuel.
From the track to your tank, you can trust Sunoco to help your vehicle perform at its peak.
Hey guys, Corley Joy here. Make sure you catch Stag and Pennies on all the NASCAR platforms each week. We talk to some of our greatest drivers, winners, relevant stories. You never know who's going to show up.
Hall of Famers, everything. You're going to get the best race highlights, the best content, the best scanner audio, the best reactions, and by far the best pit road breakdowns of any other podcast. Corey, where can they hear us?
You can find us on NASCAR on Tubi, SiriusXM Channel 90, wherever you find your podcasts, or on YouTube. Go check us out.
One change in the top 10 while we were away. Ryan Preece has gotten around Kyle Larson to take the 10th position. 82 laps to go. It's all Chase Briscoe. He leads. Tyler Reddick, John Hunter Nemechek, Eric Jones, Shane Van Gisbergen from Darlington Raceway. This is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR. We are getting ready to crown a champion.
Championship weekend is coming back to the desert.
Let's get this party started.
4 title races in 3 days means there will be a buzz in the air all weekend long. Whether from the grandstands, the infield experience, or the hillside, this is your chance to witness history and make championship caliber memories for the whole family. NASCAR Championship Weekend at Phoenix Raceway, October 31st through November 2nd. Get your tickets now at PhoenixRaceway.com. Ticketmaster, the official ticketing partner of NASCAR.
Drivers, start your engines!
Your home for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series.
Green flag goes in the air and we are underway.
On the NASCAR Racing Network.
2x2x2, they're about 10 rows deep of double-wide racing. Taylor Gray to the bottom, Nick Sanchez outside, and they're crashing mid-pack.
It's the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series on the NASCAR Racing Network.
Back at Darlington Raceway, 80 laps to go in the Cookout Southern 500. Chase Briscoe just comes out of turn number 4, puts another lap on the scoreboard. Alex, he's just led his 230th lap tonight, and regardless of how this shakes out, Chase Briscoe, James Small, and that Joe Gibbs Racing Toyota Camry team, they have sent a warning message tonight.
Yeah, they have. This has been an impressive showing for what they've been able to accomplish here at Darlington tonight. You know, they've been able to jump out and grab the lead and then drive away anywhere from a 1.5 to a 2-second lead, and that's it. They haven't expanded it more than that. Todd, I'm not sure if they can or not, but the fact of the matter is they just simply don't have to.
Yeah, they don't. They don't. They've gotten out to that point. It looked like late in that run before we started the green flag cycles that Tyler Reddick was a little bit faster than he was and got it back to about a second and a half. But the point is, this 19 car is able to drive itself out to that lead. And I don't know if he's just maintaining it, keeping the gap maintained and not abusing the tires, or whether that's just where they are. But it's been impressive, the speed that Chase Briscoe's had all night.
You ever have to rein a driver in when you've had a dominating performance like this, and you tell a guy, listen, let's not get carried away, let's just keep what we have? Do you rein the guy in or just let the driver do what the driver does?
I wasn't that guy. I never wanted to get a driver out of his comfort zone. I wanted him to take advantage of that. I had some really good guys, Joey Logano, who could manage himself. I tried not to pull him back because I wanted, if we had an opportunity to spread that gap, why not? That just gets you more buffer coming forward until it got to be late race pieces. Late races, we would start to manage gaps. So that way, back in the day, we always were superstitious about the debris caution that might fly. We wanted to make sure that we were close enough that it didn't get boring for that respect.
Good race headed to turn number 1 between Allmendinger and the field for the 6th spot.
Yeah, that's been a good race for a while now. A.J. Allmendinger, Ross Chastain in his hip pocket. They have continued to battle for that lead, for that number 6th spot.
And I don't think Chris Buescher, who was a couple of car lengths behind Ross Chastain, is all that happy with the driver of that Chevrolet. A moment ago, they both slammed into each other in 3 and 4.
Off the corner, they will race. Again, we're keeping tabs on A.J. Allmendinger and Ross Chastain. A couple of Chevrolets going at it there. They're racing for 6th and 7th.
Again, A.J. goes to the bottom of the racetrack on entry to 1, then drifts up about a car length or so off that outside wall. Chastain running a higher line.
Here they come out of turn number 2, headed down the Boeing backstretch. A.J. Allmendinger still holding 2 car lengths over Ross Chastain.
Ross Chastain hanging on there, but A.J. Allmendinger continues to have a good run here tonight, as he's got a pretty good record here at the Darlington Raceway, whether it's a Cup car or an Xfinity Series machine. And his crew chief is Trent Owens, who is a native of Darlington, South Carolina. Trent Owens also is the nephew of the King, Richard Petty. So Trent Owens literally has grown up in this sport. His father was a crew member on Richard Petty's car and sadly lost his life on a pit road accident during the 1975 Winston 500. So Trent Owens here in his home city at the Darlington Raceway having a pretty good night with his driver and his race team and A.J. Allmendinger up to the number 6 spot.
And that's good to see because Kaulig Racing has really had a lot of headwinds this year on the NASCAR Cup Series side. Chris Rice will even tell you he's the president of Kaulig Racing. He'll even tell you that he even had some challenges on the Xfinity Series side. Good to see those folks having a good run here tonight. And A.J. Allmendinger, well, that's something to walk out of Darlington with your head held high. As many laps as he's run tonight inside of the top 10.
Yeah, he has, but it's been a Toyota kind of night. Right now, as we race, the top 5 are all Toyota Camry XSEs. They have led the lion's share of tonight's race as well. Chase Briscoe still the race leader by a second and a half. Tyler Reddick is second. John Hunter Nemechek third and Eric Jones fourth. Bubba Wallace rounds out the top 5, which is Joe Gibbs Racing. Both of the 2311 racing cars and both of the Legacy Motor Club cars are inside the top 5. A pretty good showing across the board.
Yeah, it's been a solid night for Toyotas, and I mean, Chase Briscoe just toting the flag for him, but really the competition behind him. The piece that stands out, we said it a few times tonight, but John Hunter Nemechek and Eric Jones, both in the top 5, a great standpoint for Legacy Motor Club building forward.
On the racetrack right now, we're watching Chase Briscoe's lead, balancing out at about 1.8 seconds. We mentioned Shane Van Gisbergen, 4-time winner so far in 2025. They've got a unique strategy. Everybody pitted lap 274, anywhere between 272 to 277. The last time Shane Van Gisbergen was on the pit road, postman was lap 233. What are they thinking there?
It looks like Stephen Doran is just going to go with a split it to the end strategy on this one, and I don't think it's a winning strategy, but I think when they look back at John Hunter Nemechek, it yielded a top 10 finish to stage 1 with John Hunter Nemechek. Now, this is a longer run, but I think what plays into this, and I had a really good visit with Stephen Doran, the crew chief, this morning, Shane Van Gisbergen is really, really good at keeping old worn-out tires under the race car. Yeah, he's given up some spot and given up some speed, but if he gives up a little bit less, I expect him to come down probably within the next 5 or 6 laps for their pit service and then go back out and run to the finish, and they'll be fast for a while and hope he can keep those tires under him. So an interesting strategy. I think they're looking for maybe a top 10 finish. This is important for SVG. Next week we go to Worldwide Technology Raceway. He has never been there before, so they need to come out of here with a solid run and a little alternative strategy for SVG in hopes to get a solid day here at the end of the run here at Darlington.
And Worldwide Technology Raceway, a very uniquely shaped racetrack as well. Much tighter turns 1 and 2, a lot of downshifting, a lot of braking. Could play into Shane Van Gisbergen's hands. He's being scored in the 20th spot with 68 laps to go.
eBay has reinvented vehicle buying. From click to curb, everything's covered. Ever try to buy a car online and end up in a parking lot with a stranger and some blind trust? That era is over. Now with Secure Purchase, eBay isn't just where you find your car. It's where you buy it, start to finish. Title, financing, registration, delivery, it's all built in. This is the modern way to buy your next ride on eBay. eBay. Things people love. Secure Purchase is powered by Caramel Dealer Services, LLC, an eBay subsidiary.
We're at the start-finish line.
William Byron on pole position. Green flag is out and we're racing.
We're in the turn.
Here to the inside comes Kyle Larson. He and Hamlin bump.
We're on pit road.
4 tires Sunoco Racing Fuel. The race out from pit road is Denny Hamlin. Eric Jones goes off.
We are live from the track. The Motor Racing Network, your home for NASCAR racing. Don't miss a lap, pit stop, or side-by-side race for the win. Listen to all the play-by-play action on your local radio station and MRN or NASCAR.com.
From Darlington Raceway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
Of NASCAR.
The green flag is in the air, and we are underway. The Great American Race.
The Motor Racing Network. NASCAR Cup, Xfinity Xfinity and Craftsman Truck Series Racing live on your hometown radio station and MRN or NASCAR.com. Martinsville, Talladega, the Chicago Street Course. We have the side-by-side action and last lap passes for the win.
Photo finishes. Ryan Blaney will win.
The voice of NASCAR, the Motor Racing Network.
We are under the green flag.
Listen up, NASCAR fans. Now's the time to turn your love of racing into big-time prizes. Because NASCAR Fantasy Live is your fast lane to bragging rights.
Furious racing here.
Pick 5 drivers each week of the season. Then complete additional challenges to stack points. All for your shot at the grand prize.
So let's get this party started.
For official rules and to learn more, visit NASCAR.com/fantasy and sign up today.
Back at Darlington Raceway, 63 laps to go in the Cookout Southern 500. Chase Briscoe has led 246 of the 304 laps that have been run tonight, but we say it a lot, Mike, you can't go ahead and start engraving his name on the trophy just yet.
No, we're not taking the Haas to victory lane just yet. You know, you talk about the lap count, the longest green flag run of this race, 110 laps. We have just completed our 70th lap in this current green flag run. And for the most part of it, Chase Briscoe has been the driver that has been at the controls. 305 laps complete. He's just led his 247th lap. And really, the next highest lap leader, John Hunter Nemechek with 15. It has been the Chase Briscoe Southern 500 here tonight.
Yeah, it has been, but the only lap that matters is lap number 367 when the black and white checkered flag goes in the air. I think any driver out there would be happy to let Chase Briscoe lead every other lap. That last one is the one they want to lead.
That's where they pay the points. That's the one you want to lead. But he's had a dominant performance here tonight, and he's done a great job. Scored both stage wins. That's 20 points moving forward. Really, this first round's about making sure you maximize your points opportunities. They've done that so far tonight.
We talk about the playoffs beginning tonight at the Darlington Raceway. If Chase Briscoe is able to win this race, he will automatically move on to the round of 12 and will be locked into that round. What happens once we leave tonight, pack up Darlington and head on down the road? We're going to head to Worldwide Technology Raceway in Gateway. We're basically across the Mississippi from downtown St. Louis. Motor Racing Network is going to have live coverage of a doubleheader for you next weekend. It'll kick off with practice and qualifying for Cup cars at 4:30 p.m. Eastern on Saturday. That'll be followed by the NASCAR Xfinity Series New Way 200, sauced by Blues Hog. That'll be at 7 p.m. Eastern. And then 1 week from today, the Enjoy Illinois 300 Motor Racing Network on the air at 2 p.m. Eastern Time with race 2 of the round of 16 for the NASCAR Cup Series playoffs. Once things get buttoned up in St. Louis, it's off to Bristol for elimination race number 1. Our friends at the Performance Racing Network will have coverage of that one. The Bass Pro Shops night race coming your way in 2 weeks.
Staying under the green flag, 59 laps to go. The race leader is Chase Briscoe. Second is Tyler Reddick. And Steve Post third is John Hunter Nemechek.
Yeah, and John Hunter Nemechek having a really, really nice ride here tonight. Travis Mack calling a heck of a race here as they roll their way through this one. And John Hunter Nemechek, remember, he started the night deep in the field here in this race, and they worked that strategy on the first stage of this one where they split it. He started in the 30th spot, and they split the first stage in half, and that yielded him a running spot in the top 10, about 9th, I think it was. What they've had is a really good race car and a really good race car on long runs. We've been watching John Hunter Nemechek go from 9th to 8th to 7th, and right now, looking at the scoring pylon, he's got his car up in the 3rd spot. We've got one more pit stop here to go, and that pit stop probably coming up within the next 10 laps or so. But John Hunter Nemechek and his crew chief Travis Mack with that alt strategy in stage number 1, once they got track position, boy, they have been stingy giving it up, and they've got an awful good race car. So we'll see if they can close the deal with this final pit stop in the run to the checker for John Hunter Nemechek.
On the racetrack right now, Tyler Reddick is tracking down race leader Chase Briscoe. His lead was almost 2 seconds a few laps ago. Now it's down to 0.7 of a second with 56 laps to go.
Oh, Kansas.
Here we go. If I can happen today.
You just don't stop giving, do you?
Green flag, we're underway.
The closest finish in NASCAR Cup Series history.
We won it. What a finish
Close to downtown, amazing campgrounds. 3 NASCAR races in one weekend, and it's the playoffs? God can't drive. Now you're just showing off. But we're not mad. In fact, we're looking forward to it. NASCAR Playoffs Weekend at Kansas Speedway, September 26th through the 28th. Get your tickets now at kansasspeedway.com.
Hi, folks. Kyle Petty here. I want to tell you about a place that's dear to my heart, Dicty Junction. It's a year-round camp that gives kids with complex medical and physical conditions life-changing experiences that are fun, empowering, and always free for families. Please help Dicty Junction. Support kids who need it the most by making a donation today. Any amount will help kids attend camp for free. Help make a difference by visiting victoryjunction.org/donate.
Back at Darlington, caution is on the speedway for a problem in front of Dave Moody.
The J.J. Yaley machine erupted in smoke on the front straightaway. He got it down onto the apron in turn 1, rolled all the way to turn 2, and now the flames are billowing out of that left front fender well. Safety teams are on the scene, but it's proving to be a stubborn fire. J.J. Yaley is out of the car, and now it appears that they've got the flames under control.
Yeah, that car is surrounded by safety vehicles. Derek Kraus is able to get out of that race car under his own power. He'll take a mandatory trip to the infield care center. To Steve Post.
Ryan Blaney was on pit road when that caution came out. Now, it's been a struggle from Ryan Blaney since that damage to the race car. He talked about it plowing tight with the damage under the car. We're going to need to see how this cycles around because Jonathan Hassler made the call, complete the pit stop, and go back on the speedway. So we will see where Ryan Blaney cycles around after everyone else comes down for their pit work here during this caution period.
So caution flag number 7 is flying. Derek Kraus catches fire, pulls his car to the apron of turn 2. Safety crews on the scene. He is headed to the care center, and when pit road is open, everybody will be headed to the pit lane. From Darlington Raceway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
More than 200 members of Congress are standing up for AM radio listeners. The AM Radio for Every Vehicle Act will keep AM radio in cars, because when cell and internet services are down, this free service could be your only lifeline. Text AM to 39179. Tell Congress to pass this critical legislation now.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text stop to stop.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
This is Kyle Larson.
I'm David Grau.
Hi, I'm Donnie Shaw.
This is Brian Brown. This is Danny Dietrich.
Wing Nation is your go-to destination for all the latest sprint car news and interviews from the stars of sprint car racing from around the country. This is Steve Post. Aaron Evernham, Ashley Strummy, and I will have all the latest news, insights, and conversations on Wing Nation's YouTube or Facebook pages, or listen and download and subscribe to Wing Nation on any podcast platform.
Wing Nation.
Wing Nation.
Wing Nation.
Wing Nation, all sprint cars, all the time.
Back at Darlington Raceway, caution flag number 7 flying over the Cookout Southern 500. Safety crews tending to the Derek Kraus car that has come to rest at the bottom of turn 2. And because that car is basically on the off-ramp of pit road remains closed, and no one's been able to come down for service except now when they're going to open pit road this time by.
And they will do that, and we expect a full pit road full of race cars. Todd, I want to talk about James Small, the crew chief for race-leading car and dominant Chase Briscoe. When you're this good, leading 257 laps so far tonight, is there almost a reversal anxiety on how not to mess up a race that you've dominated?
Yes. Yeah, there is. It almost becomes paralysis because you don't want to mess it up, but you're not making your car better if you're not making adjustments to it, as we see all these cars coming to pit road right now.
Wendy Venturini?
Eric Jones will be one of the first cars that comes to a stop. This is called the money stop for a reason. 4 tires Sunoco fuel. How fast can you be on pit road for the last stop? Because you lose a lot of time. Otherwise, Ross Chastain also on pit road for 4 tires and Sunoco fuel. Solid stop for both of them. Steve Post.
Don Hunter Nemechek is in. Going to be 4 tires Sunoco Racing Fuel. Chase Briscoe and James Small preaching. Mistake-free pit stop here. They are down and away. Here's Denny Hamlin on pit road. Here's Joey Logano on pit road. The race off from pit road. Chase Briscoe gets it. Tyler Reddick goes second. John Hunter Nemechek, Eric Jones, and Bubba Wallace, your front 5 off pit road. Chris Wilder?
Yeah, the pay window was was open for the Tyler Reddick crew, a flawless stop. He said the car hasn't come back to me yet. I still needed to be freed up. They made a slight adjustment and sent him on his way. Bubba Wallace, with Michael Jordan looking on, said, I can't stay aggressive. I need help on the exit. They made an adjustment to his Toyota 4-tire Sunoco fuel. And A.J. Allmendinger said, I really need some help with front turn, especially in 3 and 4. They made a chassis adjustment, 4 tires, Sunoco fuel here on lap 316.
5 Toyotas came to pit road first. 5 Toyotas leave pit lane first, all led by Chase Briscoe. From legendary races to heart-pounding finishes, NASCAR Channel is your 24/7 pit stop for all things NASCAR. Streaming classic moments, iconic rivalries, and behind-the-scenes stories from the world's greatest drivers. Dive into the NASCAR culture with shows about the cars, the teams, and the personalities that make it America's most exciting motorsport. Best of all, it's completely free. Stream anytime, anywhere. No fees, no strings, just NASCAR. Start streaming now on Tubi.
Looking for a weekly motorsports podcast to stay up to date on what's happening on and off the track? The Motor Racing Network is the place. Hear from NASCAR crew chiefs on MRN Crew Call. All the happenings from regional touring series and local tracks on NASCAR Coast to Coast. Sprint Car Talk on Winged Nation. NASCAR history on MRN Classic Races. And hear from the drivers on NASCAR Live. MRN podcasts available on MRN.com, YouTube, or your favorite podcast platform.
From Darlington Raceway, this is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
NASCAR fans, get ready to feel the rush. The official NASCAR Tracks app is your ultimate race day companion. From managing your event tickets to navigating with wayfinding maps, event schedules, and facility info, it's got everything you need to make your experience unforgettable.
Ready, green flag, green
Bring
flag.
your headphones and dive into the action like never before with live scanner access.
Got a race to win, my man.
Listen in on driver and team communications at select NASCAR Tracks. Download NASCAR Tracks now on the Apple App Store or Google Play.
Inspiring stories.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. comes back to the Daytona International Speedway. He will win the Pepsi 400.
I'm just a pilot, man. You know, I just want everybody to be happy. I want to do good, and hopefully all of my dad's fans enjoyed this. This for all them.
Motor Racing Network's NASCAR Live presents podcast Junior's Journey. Jeff Gordon, a colorful career, 50 years of MRN, the 1993 season, the road to royalty, and more. Search for NASCAR Live on your favorite podcast platform.
One to go signals just been displayed here at the start-finish line. Drivers are choosing what lane to restart in. We will have 48 laps to go here in tonight's Cookout Southern 500. Should it stay under the green flag? Todd, what do you anticipate here? Did these crew chiefs feel like they got the right decisions made? And you've had all night long to try to get to this point in the race.
The piece that I look at, this will be, if it goes green, I don't see you splitting this. You're going all the way long. This will be the longest run that we'll make tonight. And as we saw the end of that green flag run, Mike, you brought up the fact that Tyler Reddick was running Chase Briscoe back down. I felt like John Hunter was actually running him down more aggressively coming into Tyler Reddick's bumper. We may have a three-way battle here later in the run.
Well, it's going to be an aggressive restart, and you're going to try to get out of Dodge. And then you don't want to chew up too much tire because you're going to need it on the back end because when we go to green, 48 laps to go. This is quite the conundrum right now.
You said this will be the longest run on a set of tires. The longest green flag run tonight's been 110 laps, but this will be the longest run on a specific set of Goodyear Eagles. The field comes off turn number 4 into the restart zone, and the green flag goes back in the air. We're racing again at Darlington. Outside lane, and Chase Briscoe getting shoved down the front straightaway, courtesy of the front bumper of John Hunter Nemechek.
If Briscoe's been vulnerable at all tonight, and I'm not sure he has, it's been on restart. He's got a fender up on Reddick, but they're side by side.
Reddick fighting hard on the inside of the racetrack, trying to stay with Chase Briscoe. Almost a little bit of contact going down the back straightaway. They race to 3.
These two didn't necessarily see eye to eye on the last restart. Reddick was a bit ruffled with Briscoe. Off the corner, Briscoe's there. Briscoe comes flying around the outside. He'll lead lap 320 with Reddick in hot pursuit.
Reddick has no choice but to just fall in the tire tracks, and as he has all night long, Briscoe immediately begins to pull away. The lead is 3 car lengths.
Behind the Reddick machine. machine. Who rides in the second spot is Eric Jones. John Hunter Nemechek has gone the fourth, and Bubba Wallace the top 5 to 3.
And Bubba Wallace goes low on the racetrack, trying to find some real estate to try to make a pass for the number 4 spot. Cannot do it. He'll fall back in line and ride 5th. Same story, different lap, Dave. Briscoe pulling away.
Just pulling away into the darkness right now. That 2-car length lead is 3, it's 4, it's 5, maybe 6 as they exit to the backstretch.
Briscoe, when he gets out front, just has the ability to get out and run away. He is continuing to stretch it out over Tyler Reddick.
Watching Eric Jones right now drop to the bottom of the racetrack. He was the fastest car last lap. He's going to take a peek to the inside of Reddick for second. He can't find any room to race, but Dave, that Dollar Tree Toyota's wound up in third.
Tyler Reddick wanted to challenge for the lead, but now he's going to have to play defense to try and hold on to second. Eric Jones is right there in the 3 spot.
Eric Jones has been extremely impressive tonight. He's remained inside of the top 10, top 5 all night long, and he is hounding the back bumper of Tyler Reddick.
Making their way back into turns 3 and 4. Reddick hangs on to the position. That is second. Eric Jones fades just a bit there in the 3rd spot. Further back, they're now beginning to flare out side by side. Carson Hocevar is on the move to the inside of Ross Chastain.
Haven't heard a lot of Carson Hocevar in the top 10 tonight, but he is coming on strong here in the late going to the inside of Ross Chastain, wheel to wheel off 2.
This is the battle for 7th, still side by side out of turn number 2. Carson Hocevar to the inside of Ross Chastain.
They continue that wheel-to-wheel battle right there with Hocevar on the inside, Chastain on the outside, Denny Hamlin looking on. Here's Chastain. He'll swing wide off the corner. Hocevar now will give up the ghost and follow Chastain back to the turn.
He'll fall back in single file, but only for a moment. He goes right back to the bottom now. Hunting the low lane, trying to put a wheel underneath the Ross Chastain machine.
Here comes Carson Hocevar right to the back bumper of Ross Chastain. Now Hocevar steps to the left, gets alongside the left side of Chastain into turn 3.
Chastain, though, keeps the door wide open on the outside lane. That's where the momentum is. It begins to kick in topside. Chastain hangs onto the spot again. Hocevar falls back in line, tries to catch a draft.
Hocevar throwing everything he's got at Ross Chastain right now, but the Mellon man has been up to the challenge for the moment. He will pull away by a car length.
Moving behind these 2 cars that continue to race for this position are Denny Hamlin and Kyle Busch. They follow each other nose to tail back to the corner.
All the while, Chase Briscoe comes out of turn number 4 to lead his 259th lap with 325 on the board. We've got 41 to go here tonight in Darlington.
Field works their way under green flag conditions. It's still Chase Briscoe at the front of the field. Tyler Reddick is hanging on to second. Eric Jones is third. John Hunter Nemechek fourth, and Bubba Wallace rounds out the top 5. A.J. Allmendinger currently 6th. Ross Chastain is 7th. Carson Hocevar is 8th, Denny Hamlin 9th, and Kyle Busch is 10th.
Ryan Preece is having a good run tonight. He's running in 11th. Kyle Larson is 12th. Chris Buescher is 13th. Austin Cindric is 14th, and Noah Gregson's 15th. William Byron is 16th, with Joey Logano in 17th. 18th is Zane Smith. 19th is Ty Gibbs, and 20th is Chase Elliott. That position swaps now. Elliott going to 19th and Gibbs falling to 20th.
21st is Brad Keselowski. Cole Custer is 22nd. Ryan Blaney's 23rd and Austin Dillon 24th. Daniel Suarez 25th. Christopher Bell is 26th. 27th, the last car on the lead lap is Ricky Stenhouse Jr. First car lap down at 28th is Todd Gilliland. Justin Haley is 29th and Alex Bowman is 30th.
31st is Riley Herbst. Michael McDowell is 32nd. 33rd is Shane Van Gisbergen. 34th is Ty Dillon. 35th is Timmy Hill. Timmy is 11 laps off the pace. Derek Kraus is in the garage after catching fire a few laps ago. He is 36th. Cody Ware is out. He's in the garage as well in 37th. And Josh Berry is on the racetrack 127 laps in arrears after being involved in an incident on lap 1, turn 2.
Good race for position in turn 1 for 5th. It's Allmendinger and Wallace.
They've been going at it for quite some time. A.J. Allmendinger's got the 5 spot. 2 car lengths back to Bubba Wallace in 6th.
A.J. Allmendinger now has been able to move around Bubba Wallace. He will now look ahead at the John Hunter Nemechek Toyota, who is about 25 car lengths ahead of him.
John Hunter Nemechek running in the 4th position. He's 2.5 seconds behind Chase Briscoe, who leads at the line. Tyler Reddick has fallen in 2nd, but Eric Jones begins to close in and fill the mirrors of Reddick.
Eric Jones running about a car width lower on the racetrack, trying to close in on Tyler Reddick. That's the battle for the number 2 position as they race the backstretch.
Eric Jones and his green and white Toyota Camry trails Tyler Reddick, the second-place car, by a car length. Now here's Jones looking low in 3.
Takes a peek downstairs, not quite close enough to put on a serious challenge. More or less just trying to show the nose of his race car there. Todd, to just maybe get him to look in the mirror too long.
And also looking for some clean air, making sure that splitter gets clean air on it, makes maximum downforce. That bottom line through 3 and 4 can be competitive, so staggering down and getting a clean air, a good place for Eric Jones to go.
And we've seen Eric Jones do it. We've seen Tyler Reddick do it when he's needed to. And Dave, that's one of the tools of the trade. If the fast lane is up against the outside wall and you're trying to make a pass, you have to go where the car in front of you isn't.
Well, that's right. In baseball terms, it's like the old saying, you got to hit it where they ain't. And that's the same deal here. You've got to find some clean air to generate some downforce on the nose of your race car, or you're just not going to be able to make up any ground. So you've got to be able to run multiple lines if you're going to make ground.
Chase Briscoe in a Toyota is the race leader. The highest running Chevrolet is in 5th place, and that's A.J. Allmendinger. And Wendy Venturini, the highest running Ford right now, is 11th, and that's Ryan Preece.
Just an update on Ryan Preece. He's been having brake issues. Earlier under caution, he said he doesn't like the pedal and the feeling of it. It sounds like something they're going to have to fix when they get back to the shop this week. Now, Derek Finley, his crew chief, did not want to give up the 8th place position and bleed the brakes on pit road because we had 21 cars on the lead lap. So they tried to pump it, but it really wasn't fixing it for Ryan Preece. He's definitely falling back in the late stages here in Darlington.
Staying under the green flag here with 33 laps to go in tonight's race. Christopher Bell's rough night continues. He just makes another pit stop and pulls back out on the racetrack.
I know Adam Stevens and Christopher Bell wanted to establish some consistency here starting these playoffs. And C. Bell, he was welcoming the reset, leaving Daytona last week, taking all the playoff points, going into the reset that we just had coming into this race, Todd. But this has been a miserable night for a lot of playoff drivers. Christopher Bell being one of them.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like Christopher Bell and Adam Stevens, they're championship contenders. They just haven't put that together consistently this year. They had that awesome run to start the year with the 3 races they won. They just haven't had that continuity to put races all the way together. Struggling tonight, see where they can get to.
Yeah, they're not the only ones that have had problems as playoff drivers. To my count, 11 of the 16 drivers have had some sort of a problem here tonight, including Josh Berry on the opening lap, spinning and crashing. He's still on the track, but, well, actually, he's 127 laps down with a beat-up race car. Denny Hamlin was at the front of the field. He had a really bad pit stop, lost all kinds of track position. We mentioned Christopher Bell's issues. Ryan Blaney, he got stuck behind a spin on the pit lane between Carson Hocevar and Christopher Bell, lost the track position. In the ensuing restart, got spun off of turn number 4 and some damage to his race car. Tyler Reddick, a little damage to his car from the turn 2 opening lap crash with Josh Berry. You've had Alex Bowman. It's just been not a good race from start to finish so far for Alex Bowman and that team. However, they're trying to make something happen, but they're mired back in 27th right now. William Byron's had an issue tonight. They had to back up and tighten a loose wheel on their car during a pit stop. Even though the race leader, Chase Briscoe, is up front, Steve Post reported they're having some sort of an electrical issue on the car, but it has not reared its head any worse as of yet. Wendy Venturini reported that Kyle Larson had radio problems and thought about changing a helmet with the radio problems. Chase Elliott had a loose wheel, had to back up and get it tightened up. Bubba Wallace also had a right rear issue on a pit stop. So there's been a lot of drivers in the playoffs, Mike, that have had problems tonight. To my count, Shane Van Gisbergen's had a pretty clean race. Austin Cindric's had a clean race. Chastain has. And Joey Logano, even though he hasn't been much of a factor at the front of the leaderboard, Logano's had a fairly clean race here tonight.
Except for Ross Chastain. You mentioned had a clean night. We have word that perhaps maybe there could be trouble brewing for Chastain. Wendy?
Yeah, bad news for Ross Chastain at lap 330. Crew chief Phil Surgeon had a report to the driver Ross Chastain that they are short on fuel by 2 laps. They had a fuel issue when they refueled on that last pit stop, and as of right now, if we don't have a caution, Ross Chastain will be 2 laps shy to make it to the checkered flag, currently running 7th.
This is one of those things that, I mean, we shake our heads and think about this, but this is the details that teams have to race at right now. Making sure you're at minimum fuel so you're carrying less weight around. That's the differences in these Gen 7 cars, all those little facets, and you're trying to work it out. If you have any hiccup, as they did, it can put you short of making it run the race.
Down to 26 laps to go in the Southern 500.
Relive the thrills of over 50 years of NASCAR racing with the Motor Racing Network's Classic Race.
36th Annual Southern 500. They come down to the start-finish line. Bill Elliott and David Pearson get down.
We dig into the MRN Audio Vault for unforgettable races and moments.
Dale Jarrett's got the lead. Earnhardt's not going to get him. Dale Jarrett is going to win the Daytona 500.
Available on MRN.com and podcast platform.
Alan Kulwicki out of turn number 4, the new Winston Cup champion. He does it across the line.
MRN Classic Races.
Every hero's story has a humble beginning. Every legend had to earn their stripes. Every superstar had a dream.
It's been a fairy tale season.
Every home track is the start of something special.
That's just good old short track racing.
Oh, a little retaliation. Holy cow! Learn more about NASCAR regional tracks near you at NASCAR.com/regional.
With 24 laps to go, we're going to have ourselves a battle for the race lead in a couple of laps. Tyler Reddick and Eric Jones are running down Chase Briscoe. We'll pick it up in a moment from Darlington Raceway. This is the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
The thrills of NASCAR racing from over 55 years of Motor Racing Network broadcasts.
Bobby Allison brings the race car right down in the middle of the track, crosses the start-finish line, and he will win the 24th Annual Daytona 500.
Bill Elliott wins the Hooters 500. Alan Kulwicki, 1992 champion.
MRN Classic Races.
In the whole pack, steaming for the finish line, Dale Earnhardt wins the Winston 500.
Find all the classic moments on MRN Classic Races on any podcast platform.
Steven Wilson punched his ticket at Michigan to fight for the eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series title. NASCAR's officially sanctioned esports series featuring the top sim racers from around the world. The playoff field has 2 races left to decide the top 4 that will make it into the championship 4. Tune in on Tuesday, September 2nd at 8 p.m. Eastern for round 2 of the playoffs from Texas, live on eNASCAR.com. Brought to you by Coca-Cola iRacing and NASCAR.
Here at the Darlington Raceway, Chase Briscoe's lead was 2 seconds. It's down to 0.3 of a second right now as they come up off of turn number 4, make their way back down the front straightaway. Headed to turn 1, Briscoe's got company.
Tyler Reddick right there now, just about 4 car lengths back. He's brought Eric Jones along with him for the ride, and not much further back is John Hunter Nemechek.
The top 4 cars starting to get closer together in the closing stages of this race. Chase Briscoe, 2 car lengths advantage now over Tyler Reddick.
4 Toyotas at the top of the leaderboard looking to fight it out for the win of the Cookout Southern 500. Here's Chase Briscoe across the line. 20 laps to go. His lead now 0.4 of a second over Tyler Reddick.
Reddick has got the number 2 spot, but maybe not for long. Eric Jones is right there on his back bumper. He looked to the inside coming into turn 1, couldn't make it work.
If Reddick is going to pass Chase Briscoe for the lead, he's going to have to be very careful, because if he makes one small little bobble, Eric Jones will be there to take it away.
They come back up off turn 4. That battle for seconds allowing Chase Briscoe to open up a couple of more car lengths. You know, Chase Briscoe's led 259 laps tonight. That's more laps tonight in this one race than he's led in an entire season in his NASCAR Cup Series career. They're back in turn 1.
He looks in the rearview mirror and says, race it hard, boys. The harder you go, the better I like it. And that battle for second is heating up.
And the last time in turn 3, Tyler Reddick got the outside wall pretty good. It allows Eric Jones to get even closer to his back bumper.
Eric Jones running in 3rd. John Hunter Nemechek in 4th. Chase Briscoe's been able to open it up just a tad, about a half second last time through. Let's measure it as they come across the line right now. There's Briscoe. There's Reddick. Separation 0.8 of a second between the top 2.
Was Chase Briscoe saving a little bit of something for late? The battle behind him heating up again. Eric Jones is on the move, working the back bumper of Reddick.
Chase Briscoe starting to get a little bit further out front as Tyler Reddick continues to have his hands full with Erik Jones.
Erik Jones continues to be right there in the number 3 spot, putting the heat on Tyler Reddick for second. Chase Briscoe enjoying this as he's the race leader. He's opened up 10, now 12 car lengths now on this race lead.
He's not got a lot of open racetrack ahead, though, before the lap traffic comes into play, and they are pretty good lap cars, some of them, including Shane Van Gisbergen, only about 20 car lengths out.
Yeah, Shane Van Gisbergen is that first car that Chase Briscoe will encounter when he catches the back bumper of SVG. They are about 10 car lengths apart right now.
Here they come off the corner. Briscoe again, 0.8 of a second out in front. Steve Post, is Chase Briscoe receiving some coaching right now?
As a matter of fact, Chase Briscoe is. They were just telling him where Tyler Reddick is running and where Erik Jones is running. And basically what they told him is block, arrow block, running those lines and keep the air off from the nose of those cars that are tracking him down.
So they continue to race at the front of the field, down the backstretch, headed to turn 3. Come to the line, there'll be 15 laps to go. And Mike, there is double wide lap traffic right in front of the race leader.
And that's the last thing that Chase Briscoe wants to see. Here comes Briscoe out of turn number 4. Timmy Hill, Shane Van Gisbergen double wide for a moment in front of the race leader.
SVG goes to the inside, bypasses the Timmy Hill machine. Briscoe will follow in his tire tracks. He'll put Timmy Hill away as they exit turn 2 to the backstretch.
Now Tyler Reddick has to deal with Timmy Hill. Hill will pull over, allow Reddick to pass him to his right. Erik Jones tries to do the same.
And now Chase Briscoe dives for the bottom of Shane Van Gisbergen in turn 3. He'll clear Shane Van Gisbergen up off of the 4th corner. Second place, Tyler Reddick has to deal with him now. Reddick is fast. Reddick to the inside. He's only 3 car lengths behind the leader.
Tyler Reddick to the inside, bypasses Shane Van Gisbergen. Now slides up into that outside lane. The lead for Briscoe is 4 car lengths.
And the good news for Chase Briscoe, now that he has been able to get around Shane Van Gisbergen, there is clear racetrack in front of him by about a half a mile. Briscoe leads Reddick by 3 car lengths.
Off the corner now, Briscoe's going to open it up just 1 car length more. Erik Jones in 3rd, trying to find his way to the inside of Reddick, but he's not close enough to make the pass. 13 laps to go. Briscoe leads by a half a second.
Chase Briscoe running for his life right now as the battle heats up again for second. Tyler Reddick trying to fend off the advances of Erik Jones.
Tyler Reddick and Erik Jones remain 2 to 3 car lengths apart as they race around this treacherous racetrack. Both those 2 drivers doing everything they can to stay with Chase Briscoe.
Briscoe again continues to love the 2 cars behind him battling for position. That enables Briscoe to get some breathing room. It was 4 car lengths, Dave. It's back up to 6.
6 car lengths as they race into turn number 1. Briscoe runs a groove off the wall as they make their way through the corner. Right up, pasted to the safer barrier, is Reddick looking for every bit of momentum he can find.
Here's Chase Briscoe to the back straightaway, still leading Tyler Reddick. Reddick looks in his mirror. Erik Jones still there.
Now something to remember. At the end of that green flag run that we had before the last caution flag, Tyler Reddick, John Hunter Nemechek, Erik Jones were all catching Chase Briscoe. Briscoe had a bigger advantage that time, Dave, than he has now. It's something to remember as we get to the late stages with 11 to go.
Briscoe so far has done a masterful job of aero blocking, putting his car right where his pursuers don't want him to put it. He's got the lead at 5 car lengths.
It is 5 car lengths this time, racing to turn 3. The lead for Briscoe. Reddick and Jones just inches off of the outside wall.
10 laps to go in the Cookout Southern 500. Leaders come storming up off of turn number 4. Chase Briscoe has the lead. Tyler Reddick second. Erik Jones is third.
Earlier this week, Chase Briscoe was asked how he feels about people predicting he wasn't going to make it out of the round of 16. He said, I love it. Disrespect me all you want. It just motivates me and my race team. And right now, they are right where they want to be.
And there is lap traffic on the horizon. The question is, are the leaders going to get to them before the end of this race? It's still Briscoe, the leader, out of 4.
Briscoe, Reddick, Erik Jones have opened it up now over John Hunter Nemechek in 4th. A.J. Allmendinger round out the top 5. 9 laps to go. Briscoe tries to open it up even more.
Down the front straightaway into turn number 1. The 5 car length advantage, maybe 6, maybe 7. Then about 2 more back to Erik Jones.
And it's difficult to tell right now if Chase Briscoe is showing all that he has or if he's just simply toying with Tyler Reddick, who's doing everything he can to run him down.
He is. The front three still right together, separated equally by about 4 car lengths apiece, but a whole swarm of traffic is right in front of them. They're on the same straightaway headed to turn 1.
The Josh Berry machine down dozens of laps after that early skirmish. He is racing with Alex Bowman, who's also had a rough night. Closing in is Chase Briscoe.
Here come those top 3 cars of Chase Briscoe, Tyler Reddick, and Eric Jones. Halfway down the back straightaway, rolling out of the throttle, turning the wheel to the left, and going through turn 3. Oh, Briscoe's in the wall hard in the middle of the corner.
He's trying to hang on to the car. He does, but that allows Reddick to catch him off the corner. Here they come. Reddick, 2 car lengths behind Chase Briscoe. Battle for the lead. 7 to go in Darlington.
A critical mistake for Chase Briscoe. He's pancaked the side, but he's still up to speed. But Reddick is right there on the back bumper out of 2.
Here is Tyler Reddick right to the back bumper of Chase Briscoe, the race leader. 1 car length separating the top 2, racing for the win here in Darlington.
With the lap traffic again right in front of them, they're beginning to close in on the Josh Berry car. Berry rolls out of the throttle, keeps it down to the bottom of the racetrack, pulls way down on the front straightaway. The lead trio goes blasting by to turn 1.
That shot into the safer barrier does not appear to have cost Chase Briscoe any speed. He has opened it up again by a couple of car lengths over Reddick. Reddick has only 1 now over Eric Jones.
Eric Jones took a peek to the inside in turn 1, trying to move around Tyler Reddick for second. He couldn't do so. Here's Reddick diving to the bottom in 3 on Chase Briscoe, the leader.
Here they come now. Tyler Reddick taking a peek to the inside. He's not finding any room to race. The crowd here at Darlington rises to its feet. 5 laps to go. Chase Briscoe opens it back up with Reddick and Jones in hot pursuit.
5 to go, and it's anybody's ball game. The lap machine of Alex Bowman is dead ahead. Reddick now feeling the heat from Eric Jones. 3-man dance for the lead at Darlington.
Exiting off of turn number 2, headed down the Boeing backstretch. This time Chase Briscoe has a little bit more breathing room over Tyler Reddick. It's 3 car lengths the lead.
Lapped car of Alex Bowman goes to the bottom of the racetrack. The race leader Briscoe goes storming to his outside. Bowman falls a second lap down. Here comes Briscoe across the line. 4 laps to go.
4 to go now for Chase Briscoe. He's regained about 3 car lengths of an advantage over Tyler Reddick. But Reddick is strong in turn 1. He closes it down to 2.
Reddick got a nice run out of turn number 2. He makes up a car length on the leader, Chase Briscoe. They still remain single file, just inches off of the red and white wall in 3.
Tyler Reddick, 3 car lengths, now 2 car lengths behind Chase Briscoe. Briscoe running for his life with 3 laps to go in the Cookout Southern 500. The front 3 knotted together for the top spot.
Tyler Reddick trying to take the goose egg out of the win column. Right behind him, Eric Jones trying to do the same. 1 more run. Reddick is there on the back bumper. He'll look to the inside out of 2.
Tyler Reddick's got a run. Here he comes right to the back bumper of Chase Briscoe. A half a car length separating these top 2.
Briscoe runs the outside lane. Reddick thought about going to the bottom, thinks better of it, falls back in line, rides the tire tracks. 2 laps to go now. Here comes Tyler Reddick looking to the inside but can't get close enough to Briscoe.
He is just a car length back on entry into 1. Briscoe enters low, slides up across the path of Tyler Reddick, and again, Reddick is right there at the exit to the back straightaway.
Reddick is there. The problem for Tyler Reddick is he just needs a little bit of running room, and he has not been able to find it thus far.
Here they come now, off turn number 4. Briscoe, Reddick, Jones. This is for all the marbles in the Cookout Southern 500. Here they come to the line. White flag is in the air. Final lap around. Can Briscoe hang on to it and score the win?
Here comes Chase Briscoe into turn number 1. He's got the lead by 2 car lengths. Reddick up scraping the safer barrier. He's right there. Briscoe gets a little sideways out of 2, and they're nose to tail.
Final shot for Tyler Reddick down the back straightaway in the wake of the race leader, Chase Briscoe. Reddick dives it into the corner.
Reddick to the bottom of the racetrack, side by side for the lead off turn 4. Reddick slides up the racetrack. Briscoe gets away off turn 4. Checkered flag is in the air, and Chase Briscoe wins the Cookout Southern 500. Chase Briscoe goes back-to-back in the Crown Jewel Southern 500. He picks up the win. Tyler Reddick will be second. Eric Jones will be third. John Hunter Nemechek finishes 4th, and A.J. Allmendinger rounds out the top 5. Let's go to pit road.
Yes, they are celebrating down here. The crew chief having a word with this driver as they celebrate the win down here. I am telling you, what a dominant performance, what a run. James, what a dominant performance on this car. Just kind of describe the pride you have in everything here tonight.
Oh, yeah, everything. We worked really hard on this, bought a great car, and Chase and the pit crew just did an exceptional job tonight. And Drew up there coaching him, just an all-around fantastic team effort. You know, woke up this morning and sent a message saying, you know, we need a good old school beatdown. And we hadn't had one for a while, and we did it tonight. So just so proud of everybody and everybody back at the shop at JGR. It's just incredible.